never be afraid not to succeed. Don't be scared of not succeeding, because that's going to hold you back and you'll never succeed. Just don't, there's nothing to be scared about. If you have something you want to do and you have a passion about it, then do it. Don't be scared to take a chance in life, because you never know when that chance can change your life.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of the Two Stunads podcast. I'm Paulo.
What's up, guys? I'm Drew.
And we are the Two Stunads. Every week, we're sitting down with business leaders, entrepreneurs, business owners. We talk about how they got started. We talk about the ups and downs and all the fun stuff along the way that they've learned. And just really nothing special about Drew and myself. We're just two ordinary guys sitting down with some extraordinary people and unpacking their story bit by bit. If you guys like what you hear, if you guys get something out of today's episode, do us a favor, please hit that like button, subscribe, comment, wherever you're listening to us, wherever you're watching us. Really helps the show out. A lot helps out people that might be in your shoes, wanting to take that next step into entrepreneurship and not really sure how to take it, where to go. Again, just really helps the show out, helps the community out. So,
yeah, guys, thanks again for watching. We post every Friday at 12 o'clock. If you guys aren't watching on YouTube, you're going to hear us on Spotify, Audible, Apple Podcasts. We're on 27 platforms. We really help. We really love the support, love the negativity we're getting back. But again, guys, thanks for watching the show. Just like Paulo said, if you guys got anything out of this show, make sure you share with a friend. It truly helps us out.
Yeah, pass it along. Pass it along. It's all, like I said, it's all about building communities. And we got a guy that's definitely building communities. He's a quiet force in the Chicagoland real estate area today. Here, he's really been doing all that work in real estate long before HGTV was making it sexy. He's the VP over at Franklin Properties, celebrating 25 years in business. Plus, they do rentals, they do retail, they do apartments, custom homes, condos, property management. Listen, if it involves real estate, these guys are doing it. And our guest has never punched a W-2, and he's never punched a W-2 in his life. And it's not because he couldn't; it's because he was just built differently. He was raised by strong entrepreneur and immigrant parents, taught him early how to save a buck. And alongside with his brother, he's been tearing down houses and rebuilding them from the ground up, doing all that work across the Chicagoland area again, Elmhurst, Northbrook. Itasca is a big one, 65 plus custom built houses in Itasca alone. And guys, these aren't, cookie cutter subdivision houses. These are custom built homes. And these guys were doing the Property Brothers game before the Property Brothers even were a thing, right? So this guy focuses primarily on the rental side of the business. And that's kind of where his bread and butter is. He said he's not chasing bodies and putting them into units. He's building communities within these buildings. He truly believes that the tenants that are in these buildings really matter more than just maxing out the rent. So that's what he really cares about. Excited to dive into his story. He's a builder in every sense of the word. He's building homes. He's building businesses. He's building communities. So without further ado, welcome to the show, Mr. Rudy Presta.
Hey, thank you for having me, guys.
Yeah, man, thanks for coming on.
No problem.
How's your week been? How's your day been? Everything good?
Yeah, everything's good. It was a little slow today, but it's normal for the time. It is January. That's what people don't understand. It's like, oh, it's a little slow. Things aren't moving. They're not renting. I go, it's mid-January.
Yeah.
Remember we had the 50-degree weather a few weeks ago?
Yeah.
Everybody's thinking like, oh, I feel like spring's coming, but spring's not coming.
Sure.
And now we hit the reality.
Yeah.
So now it's basically driving around, doing heat checks, making sure everything is running smooth.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's a big part of the business too, man.
It is. It's
the
huge.
Maintenance.
The maintenance is huge, especially with the retail, because when you have a vacant store, there's nobody there to tell you heat's not working, and with this
or a
weather,
leak or whatever. Or
yeah,
this is broke. That's
you break
broke.
a sprinkler head, you got a mess. It's a disaster. So we've been good so far. The last 2 years have been solid,
especially this week.
Good.
Yeah, this week's cold. So, but we've adapted. We've learned. And we have processes in place now, so it rarely happens. If it does, anything can happen. I can check it, leave. I can leave within an hour, and the heat goes out, and there's nothing I can do about it.
Right.
But at least it was documented. I was there, and we checked, and that's all you can do.
Yeah.
But,
very true.
Yeah.
Very true. That's good. Sounds like you got a good system in place to check all that. We like to start the show. We like to start from the beginning. We like to start, where you grew up and kind of your upbringing. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Well, I remember we moved to Norwich. So I lived in Norwich. I lived on Agatite, little 3-flat. So my dad bought the little 3-flat, lived in one unit, rented the other 2 out. Went to school Union Ridge for 1 year, and St. Rosalie's for 3 years. And then back to Union Ridge. And then we moved to Elk Grove. So I was in 5th grade when we moved to Elk Grove. My mom had the hair salon. So my dad worked construction, and then they saved their money. And my mom was a hairdresser. And he's like, well, why are you paying the owner of the salon all that money? Just go start your own business. So she went to Elk Grove, and 42 years she ran that thing. She still works today.
Yeah.
Really?
But she works she's 76, and she still jacks them out. She loves it. She goes, she doesn't want to retire. She's like, she works less because it's the interaction with the people every day. That's what it is. It's not actually doing the hair. It's the talking to people. Otherwise, what do? You sit home and you get old. Like I always say, I'm never going to retire. I'll retire, but I can't stop working.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? I'll enjoy more vacations and do things like that. But to actually, not be involved, I can't. I have to always be involved.
Very true. Very true.
It's fun.
And I know your mother, Linda. She's an awesome lady, very hard worker, and I'm sure she's very proud of what you've become and all that. So
yeah, she's a wonderful person, and she was what was interesting. I mean, as you know, my dad got sick, so he was sick. He passed away when he was 58, which is almost 30 years ago, and so it was hard. But my mom had the salon, so she was like. So she had the business in place. So even when he passed away, she already was established with her business and able to cope. And I was telling you, he passed away at 58. I just turned 59. So last year was a tough year for me. And then in June, I told you I had a quadruple bypass. And I was like, oh my God, this is the way it's going to go for me. And then I remember I was laying in bed after I had the surgery on the 23rd. And then I got home. 11 days later, I got released, and then I was home, and then July 3rd is my birthday, and I woke up to use the restroom, and I go to my wife, I go, what time is it? She goes, it's 1:15. I go, I freaking made it. 59. I could put all that stuff, because if you think about it, I don't know, you guys are younger, obviously, but 58, there's a lot of life left. And when you really think, it's like, man, can you imagine not being here at this age? And I would have these conversations with my friends who were around the same age, and it was like, it was scary, but I'm here. It wasn't my time.
You're crushing it.
God bless.
Yeah.
So it was.
How do you guys know each other?
Second cousin.
Yeah, we're actually.
His mom is my first cousin.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's a great lady, his mother.
Oh, yeah.
She's a saint.
Yeah, she is.
She's a saint.
She's great. Yeah. And like his uncle, I used to always, when we were kids, I would sleep over at his house, and we hung out. We're the same age. So,
sure.
So I was there a lot.
Yeah.
And then, my dad passed away, and then a week later, your grandfather passed away.
And I remember that week.
It was like, so I had, my dad just got over that, and then a week later, I had my uncle. I was like, it was just tough, because I spent so much time there, and he was a great man.
Yeah.
He was great. Old time, hardcore Dago, but he was really cool.
Yeah.
And he had his whole basic garden, I call it a small farm behind the thing, but I enjoyed going there. It was fun. I spent a lot of time with Frankie and Tony Guido over there.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
We had a lot of good times.
Yeah, good stuff. I mean, those were good times. And I remember you've always had that entrepreneurial spirit in you. Like I remember at family parties, like you were the cameraman.
Yeah, and my brother was the DJ.
His brother was the DJ, and
so I was videotaping because my brother was the DJ and he was doing it for a long time, and so I was video. I'm like, I'll just videotape, and I got to the point where it's like, hey, listen, you want your event on video? I'll just shoot a video. End of the night, I'll hand you the tape. And it was obviously less expensive than the guys who put the whole production. Some people, that's all they wanted. They just wanted a record of it. Right. And it worked out great. And then I would also be a roadie for my brother. But we had fun. Yeah. We had a lot of fun.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah,
I bet.
I mean, there were some weeks we would do 6-7 parties, over Christmas, and we had 2 a day, and I would just go help him. And it was just, for me, it was fun. I would just get to go there, eat, drink, and I would help him set up.
Yeah. And
then break down, and we had a good time.
Yeah.
I helped him. When he first started, he didn't even have a driver's license. So I'd have to drive him to the events. Yeah. So I started out with little christenings and stuff and built up to weddings. And then you get to a point, you start your family, and, because most of that job's all weekends. So he finally retired from it.
Gotcha.
But now he's still he's got that audio ear, and now he enjoys it in other ways. So it's
Love that.
Cool. It's pretty cool.
And then you said, so grammar school, high school, did you go to?
High school, I went to Elk Grove.
Elk Grove.
Yeah, so I went, so both So I did all my schooling in Elk Grove except for the first 4 years. So then I went to Lively Junior High, which is now Pirates Cove. I don't know if you've been to Elk Grove. I went there well, that used to be my junior high.
Yeah.
And then I went to Elk Grove High School, graduated 84.
Okay.
I played soccer there. And then I went on to College of DuPage for 2 years, played soccer there, and then transferred to Benedictine in Lisle and finished. So I started my career in school in Catholic, and I ended my career in college in Catholic. And I played there. It was D3.
Yeah.
I had fun. I enjoyed it. So I always tell kids that want to be athletes or go on and play in college, I go somewhere where you're going to play and enjoy it. I started every game but one in 4 years.
Wow.
And and I was in the right spot.
Yeah.
So some of these kids want to go for these bigger schools, and you're riding the bench for a year. It's not fun.
No, it isn't.
There's no fun in
No,
that.
it isn't. What position did you play?
Center back.
Center back.
Yeah, last man.
You held down the fort. That's what you did.
Yeah,
There you go.
So it was fun.
Nice.
I loved it, and I'm born. I bleed soccer.
You still play a little bit, don't you?
I used to. Now
Okay.
my knees. The doctor said I can go back. He said wait about a year, but my knees. One of my knees is just. And I didn't even do anything to it. I don't know what's wrong. But yeah, I was playing up till COVID. I was playing regularly every week. I was in a men's league over 30. It was fun. It was semi-competitive. It was a good time.
Yeah.
Every Sunday morning, show up and play. It was fun. I enjoyed it.
Love it. I don't play as much anymore. I wish I did, but kudos to you for going as long as you did. What did you study at Benedictine?
Economics. Yeah, so it was kind of weird. It's like, well, what do you do an economics degree? It's like,
That's my question. I'm kind of curious.
Yeah, but I loved it. It came natural to me, and I just, you take macro, micro, then intermediate, then advanced, and so my degree's in economics.
Okay.
So, micro, macro, supply and demand. It's basically, it's formula for the apartments. It's all supply and demand. Like a few years ago, the demand was through the roof on apartments. So you can pretty much call your rent whatever you want. And now it's starting to stable down and level off. So I was doing that. And
What did you do when you graduated? Did you just get a job?
So no, so like I said, I never really worked for anybody. So after we graduated, it's like, all right, we're going our own business. So I had some money saved up. So my brother and I were like, hey, let's open a Subway franchise. So back in 1989 in Mount Prospect Plaza, we opened a little Subway sandwich shop. And my brother was still going to school. He's a few years younger than me. So we had it for about 3 years, learned a lot. I learned that I didn't want to sit here and manage 17-year-olds that always would Friday nights call in sick all the time. But it was a good experience, and we sold it 3 years later, doubled our money, and I learned that the food business was not for me. It's great. I mean, it was fun. At that time, there was less than 1,000 franchises. And we were doing stuff like we put neon lights in our Subway. We had sneeze guards. We were doing all that before people were doing it. And it was pretty cool. And I was 22, 23 years old, and my brother was 19. So it was
young.
Yeah, it was definitely. So I did that, and then started getting into real estate. Sold a couple smaller buildings, picked up a couple 6 flats, and then had an opportunity came across our table to pick up a 48-unit complex in Itasca right in the downtown. And we were able to put that deal together, and from there it just took off.
Yeah,
I've owned that building now 29 years.
Holy cow!
It's crazy. I look back, and I have one tenant that's been there 27 years, and they go, Rudy, remember you walking across the parking lot with your buckets of paint and your carpet cleaner? And I'm like, yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah,
but it was fun. It was fun, and I learned a lot.
Sure.
And when you're in the rental business, you learn a lot about people.
Yep.
And all the different personalities and the way people live and the way it's a very integral but simple, but it is pretty interesting. I'm just thinking back, I've had so many stories with tenants, all kinds of crazy stuff I've seen.
I bet.
But it's definitely interesting.
What was the interest rate on that back in the day?
So originally when we were putting that deal together, the bank had it because it was a bank owned, but the whole deal was a lot of other stuff going on. They wanted to give it to us at 9, and and we walked away the first time. Then they came back at 6.5, which was prime, for 4 years fixed. So we took it, and then in 4 years I was able to go out and get regular financing, paid that bank off, and so now what
year was that?
90. So 90, 91.
Yeah,
wow. It's a long time. Yeah, so. The last phase with the interest rates when they were 3.2, so
you had to be refinanced.
We refied everything. Refied everything.
Paid the closing costs.
Yeah, refied and
now you're set.
Yeah, so and now you got your interest rates locked for
the
seven,
cash flow.
10 year,
Yeah.
but no problem. Yeah, and it cash flow. And the rental rates were going up through the roof.
Oh yeah.
And now they, like I said, they label up, but they're still good. But here's the deal with the rentals. You can run it two ways. You can either, I see some of these buildings we buy. I can't believe that people actually lived in these things, and we take it over, and all of a sudden I get this list from the village, and I go, wait, what the hell is this? Well, the other guy didn't do this. I'm like, wait, you let all this go for years. This guy's owned this thing for like 5-6 years. We pick it up, and now all of a sudden I got all these, but we fix everything up. And so what's nice about these municipalities that inspect, I have a lot of stuff in Addison and Bensonville, and they do come in once a year and inspect, and then you get to a point where you get an A rating, and then you get to skip a year. So most of our stuff is A rated. Keep them clean. Life safety, number one. I've had 2 fires, so life safety is crucial, because you never want to come back and I didn't do that, or that wasn't right, and I can't live with that.
Kick you.
Never.
Yeah.
No, it's not even about that. It's just, I can't live with that.
Yeah.
So life safety, when we had the big fire, 18-unit building burned down, the one guy passed away in the unit, but he had a heart attack prior. He caused the fire. But everything worked. Fire alarms, smoke detectors, fire extinguishers, the keys to get in, everything worked the way it was supposed to. Right. So when it came back, it was a no fault. There was nothing after 3 days of investigation by the fire marshal. But if you never dealt with a fire, I pray to God you guys never have to deal with it, because that was hard. I was sitting at my desk. I just started crying. I'm like, I just felt so bad for all those people who were displaced. And I keep telling them, get renter's insurance, get renter's insurance. Oh yeah, and they don't. It's $125 a year. The 5 out of the 18 had renter's insurance. They got places to go, because when you have a fire and then you're getting woken up at 4:30 in the morning, and you're not taking your keys. Oh, let me grab that. You're just out, and all of a sudden you can't go back in and get your car sitting there. You got no wallet. You got no ID. You got nothing. It was definitely a learning experience.
I can't imagine.
No, it's horrible.
I can't imagine.
It's horrible. So I always tell people, especially in your home, just make sure everything works. It's the best money you're ever going to spend, because if it saves one life, it's worth every penny.
Yeah. I want to know, so Franklin Properties, you said, correct me if I'm wrong, it was named something else before Franklin Properties,
yeah,
right?
We called it Frank's Investments, and then we're talking to a couple of my accountant and my attorneys, like, that sounds not real estate-y, sounds more investment. So we're like, okay, so this is corny, but my dad's name was Frank, my mom's Linda, so we went Franklin Properties, Inc.
Love
and then
it.
we went, nobody had that name, so we took it. So it's been working. It was like a tribute to my dad,
Right.
Because my dad was the visionary in the family. So he would see something and he would see past it. And my mom was like the finance, the workhorse. So, and my brother and I are built kind of the same way. I'm more the vision. I'll go to a building, and if I tell Mario, okay, I like this, let's do it. He'll go through the numbers. I go, but I can get this, and this. I can get this rent to hit this. I'll get this. I'll need about 6 months to a year, but I'll get it to performing here. Mm-hmm. And if I go to a building, I say, hey, dude, I have nothing to do with this. And it's done. It's dead in the water. Mm-hmm. But a lot of times, sometimes the numbers don't make sense, because people got crazy with prices. Rents go up, but like an average unit in Addison now is about $150,000 a unit. So you're getting 6 flats now are almost $1 million. If you want $970 for a 6 flat, I could have bought. You go back 10, 15 years, $380, $400. You could have bought tons of them.
Wow.
Now they're even Villa. No, it doesn't matter where you go.
Yeah.
Like, we got one for sale in Elmhurst. We're rehabbing a little 6 flat, and it's we have it for $1.6 million, and it's under contract. Crazy, but it's beautiful. It's in a residential neighborhood. It's really nice.
Okay.
We completely gutted it. We're just finishing it up now. It's complete gut rehab, everything.
Yeah.
So it worked out.
And just to jump back to your father, Frank.
Yeah.
I was probably 4 or 5 years old when he passed away, and then a week later my grandpa passed away. So I didn't know him that well, but I've heard multiple stories about how he was a visionary and how he really kind of helped all the other his brothers and sisters kind of come together and just see past, and not just them, but the family and he helped out the family so much.
Yeah, he would bring everybody together.
He would.
So like, it would be a Tuesday, and all of a sudden, all my aunts would start coming over, because my dad would invite them. My mom would get home, my dad start cooking, my mom was at the salon, And he would bring people together. Like when he passed away, it was definitely a little bit of the family dynamic changed for a little while. Now it's back to normal. We are blessed. Our family is fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, the support, I can tell you the support I got when I got, it is over the top. We are blessed. You have no idea how great our family is. All the cousins, everybody's just, it's really, we only, it was always funerals and weddings.
Right.
And we had a lot of weddings now. So
Yeah.
that was kind of, it was, but you know what? When I was your age, when I was younger, we had all those weddings. It was like, I would make jokes. I had 11 weddings over 2 summers.
That's
and I'm like,
insane.
I'm stand up at a year, you know what I mean? It's like, it was crazy. I stood up to tons of them.
Right.
But that was the age. Everybody was getting married.
Right,
And
right.
So, yeah, so it was cool.
I know your father helped out my mom quite a bit, helped out my dad quite a bit.
And my mom still, everybody loves her.
Oh,
she's
yeah.
still great. She had that heart attack, but it was mild. She's over it now. She's building herself back up.
Yeah.
And thank God that happened. I mean, not thank God that happened to her, but it got me to go do some
Open
more
your
tests.
eyes a little
Well,
bit.
I was already, under the radar. And, I could tell you something. At the end of the day, it's hereditary. If you have heart disease in your family, make sure you get checked. And now we have just our Uncle Larry had a heart attack. So I'm like, I told my brother, I go, your mother, me, and Uncle Larry. And my brother's in shape. He works out.
Yep.
I go, I was 212 pounds 6-7 years ago playing soccer. I was a maniac on the field. I was able to, sprint. I was running, playing. It was crazy.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter how great a shape you're in.
Yeah.
You got the sticky blood. You got to go get that checked out. And the one thing that came out of this was a lot of my friends went to get checked, and a couple of them caught a few things, and so it was a blessing in
There
disguise.
you go. It's very important. Get that check.
Like you were saying, my father was definitely the one to bring the family together. My mom, and spent a lot of time by your mom's house.
Yeah.
It was a ton. I remember that basement. So many parties.
Oh, that basement, yeah.
It was cool. It was
Piano, the bar,
Yeah,
the
it
little
was-
nativity scene that stayed up all year long.
All year long. And then we had the rooms in the attic, and that's where we'd sleep. We had sleepovers. We were in the attic. I was excited. Well, all right, we got to get to sleep in the attic.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
All right, it was cool.
It was.
So my dad passed away. They got married. My mom was 15. My dad was 27 when they got married. 40. So my dad.
Young, dude.
Yeah. No, it was just, today you were like, your daughter's 15 and 27 and comes to your door. He ain't walking away.
No,
He was like,
I'm breaking his legs.
But back then it was, because my dad came here and then he worked, saved up a bunch of money, went back to Italy. And then they were walking in, by my mom's town in San Lucia. And he saw her and he's like, oh, who's that? Found out, talks to the father. Oh, I want to. 45 days, they're married, 6-month honeymoon in Italy, and then here comes this. And then she turned 16. They got married in June, 6-month honeymoon. She turned 16 in October, and then they're in America.
Right.
And it's like, and here's my mom not knowing the language, and then had me at 17.
Your father and your mother, they were the first ones of the family to come to U.S., weren't they? Or am I mistaken?
They came, and I think Bruno came, and then they all lived in that one. There were 7 of them living in that little apartment in like near DePaul right now. I go, geez, you should have bought that building, but that would have been great.
Yeah.
But so they came, and then my dad, they worked, they made their money, and they were saving, and then went back to Italy and met the love of his life, and then after they were married, and then I think it was almost 30 years, 28 years, whatever, 27 years.
Okay.
I was just going to turn 27 when he passed away, so it's about 28 years.
Okay.
So then after my dad passed away, so then my mom is, trying to figure everything out. She had her own business, so at least that kept her occupied. She got to go to work every day, gets your mind off of it. You go to the beauty shop, you make your money, you do your thing. Everything was good. And so then, and then my mom was going to this support group. And then that's where she met Jim, because Jim's wife died in a car accident, head-on collision. Have you read his book?
I did read his book.
Okay.
All I can say is thanks. Great read.
I have not read his book. I said, Jim, put it on audio for me, and I'll listen to it.
I did read his book, yeah.
I go, I'll even listen if you're the one who reads it. So I'm like, and that's how they met, and they just started, and he was a stand-up guy, because when my mom first got divorced, all these greasy Italians started coming out of the woodwork. My mom's like, I don't want this.
Right.
And then she started, then she met Jim, and then they followed whatever, and then there was a little pushback from some of the family because it's a black dress, she's 45, 46, come on, she's gonna be by herself,
right?
And well, here's the interesting part. So my mom and Jim just had their now they're going to be in their 26-year anniversary. So she's had 2 25-year anniversaries, my mom. Is that crazy?
Wow, that's crazy.
And she's been with, basically my dad and Jim, 2 men in her whole life. So it's like, that's, and he's a great guy, and he loves her, and he's got his quirks.
Sure.
He is. He's interesting. But I love him to death.
Yeah.
He's a great guy.
Yeah.
I couldn't be happier for my mom. She met, and they travel a lot.
Yeah.
And they,
he's such a great guy.
yeah, he is. He is. He's a solid guy.
Yeah.
I've not read his books yet. I mean, I
He's an
told him
author?
I'm not a reader. Yeah.
He wrote a book, yeah. He used to be redheaded, right? And his name growing up was Red. Everyone called him Red, and he was kind of rough around the edges too, a little bit.
He
growing
was,
up.
Yeah, he was in Buffalo, New York.
Yeah.
He was a little rough. He grew up. He lived in a bar. His dad owned a bar. He'd be mopping up at a bar. And he was. He lived a interesting life.
Right. But it's again, you talk to him, great guy.
Yeah.
And really makes you feel good too.
Oh yeah, no. He'll pick you up. You got a problem, you can talk to him.
Yeah.
He's a good Christian. He he believes in what he believes, and he always wants the best for everybody.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what that's what he's about.
For sure.
And then he wrote another book. He helped that kid with the sickle cell.
Yes.
It was, and he still talks to him. And they did the 700 Club they did a story on him. It was pretty cool.
Beautiful. I want to know about talk to me about the journey with Franklin Properties. Then, because you do it all: retail, custom built homes, condos. Talk to us. How did it start, and then how did it progress?
Okay, so when we first started, we got the apartment building. So we started there, and we started to build our units, and then we're like, my brother's like, you know what? I'm married now, and I want to get a house. So he goes, well, why don't we build a house? So he's like, you know what? I'm going to build myself a house, and we'll try. So we had an Irish builder who kind of helped us out, got us with the excavation, foundation. These were vacant lots. We didn't do tear downs at that time. So it started out, build a house for my brother, built a house for himself. Then I'm like, then down the street there was another lot. I go, I'll build one for myself. And then it ended up, I go, I'm not married. I don't need a house. I could just live in one of my apartments. And so we built it, we sold it, and then it just started, okay, let's do another one, and it just started progressing. And then we started getting into the teardowns, which back when we were doing the teardowns was like 2000s, early 2000s, back during, I don't know if you guys remember this, it was like they would call the McMansions. Oh, look, they're ruining the neighborhood. They're tearing down these little houses and building these McMansions. And the battles we had to fight because the opposition was so strong. And I'm like, but these houses that we're tearing down, especially the ones in Itasca, I mean, some of them were really depleted.
Sure.
I mean, they were 2-bedroom, 1 bath on a slab built after the war.
Right.
A family of 4 is not going to live in a 2-bedroom, 1 bath on a slab. There's no basement. You got a 1-car garage. Okay, you can probably figure out the 1-car garage, but you can't. The house. If you got a boy and a girl, and they're teenagers, where are they going to sleep?
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't make sense. So that's the kind of stuff we were tearing down, and it was tough in the beginning, and got a lot of pushback from the village, and everybody was trying to. Some certain people in the village back at that time trying to be enforcers and tough guys. Like, oh, well, your ordinances are the way they're written, so there's and we kept going, and then slowly, as you build a neighborhood like you see here, we're in Elmhurst, you start to see, and it just becomes part of the neighborhood. You drive, they build a new house, oh my God, and then you drive by it a year later, you look at it, it's like that's just a normal house, it's been there it doesn't matter.
Right.
It adapts. The neighborhood adapts to the houses.
Very true. Very true.
So that's how that started. So we started building houses, and then over time we started accumulating more apartments. And then we used our big property as it was like our bank account. So we'll refi this, and we're able to get that and get that and get that, and slowly you grow, and the right deals come along, and walked away from a lot of good. I mean, there's so much stuff that came across my table that I would look back, and you always could look back and say, I should have grabbed that.
Hindsight's always 20/20.
But
right?
you know what? I'm happy with what I have. I'm not complaining, and definitely not complaining. And we're still actively looking. And then I've got some stuff that I can spin off. We do a lot of exchanges, 1031 exchanges, because it's, I'll pay eventually one day I'll pay the tax, but I'd rather not pay it now.
Sure.
So just keep rolling them and just keep building the equity and build the portfolio. And it's been working out. And then actually it's 18 years ago, one of my cousins came up to me and he's like, you know what? He goes, I'm sick of these mid-America, all these big management companies coming in here, running my shopping centers, and I'm not getting the service, and I'm paying a ton of money. Do you guys want to manage some commercial real estate for me? If it doesn't work out, no problem. We're cousins. It's family first. And that conversation was 18 years ago, and I'm still working for him, and everything's great and great. We have a great rapport, and he's a great person to work for.
Awesome.
And yeah. So, and their business is growing and exponentially. So I'm going to give them a shout out to it's Caputo. So
Okay.
So yeah. So it's fantastic. So we manage all their commercial properties.
Yeah.
All their real estate. We take care of that. Nothing involved with the grocery stores. That's he's got great families, kids. They're all it's a fantastic operation.
Yeah,
and a great family to work for.
They're a force too, man.
They're great.
Yeah,
they are. He's one of my mentors. As we started to grow, then obviously your business grows, so you have to start to, get a little bit more corporate-y, I would say.
Yeah,
because you want to stay. So his advice was always never forget your core, what got you to where you were. You can't leave whatever you believe in your core to get to where you got, you can't put that aside. You got to bring that with you and make it part of the culture. And it worked. It blended it and worked. And we're corporate, but yet it's got more of a family feel to it too, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
So it's been working. So then that's how we got into the commercial real estate. So, and I used to own some commercial real estate, but I really don't dabble in it that much.
Okay.
More managing end of it. Apartments. Yeah, I'll always look at apartment buildings, and that's my bread. I love that. And my favorite thing to grab is, like you were saying, it's about a community. So I'm just going to use an example of a 12 flat. I purchased one in Addison 6-7 years ago. It was rough, a little run down, not managed very well. And then you go in there and you start to make improvements. You start to clean house, and then you got some tenants that once you establish a set of rules in a building. And then the community everybody likes the rules and everybody lives together in harmony. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And why would you, it's not about, I can increase them another $50. I'll increase them 30 because the harmony's there. And there's a good community. And I don't get there's not a lot of problems, not a lot of complaints. That's important.
Right.
And the tenants feel, you have a problem, you go and fix it. Fridge is broke, take care of it. You don't make people wait. They're paying for service.
Right.
At the end of the day.
And they can tell, if sorry to cut you off, they can tell if you're putting a Band-Aid on it or if you're actually fixing the problem, right? You're giving them a solution.
Oh, sure. This burner's been not working good in the stove for, this is the second time I came back to fix it. They come back home from work and there's a new stove there. And they call, oh my God, thank you. The other landlord wouldn't even, he didn't show up for about 2 or 3 weeks. And, the parts aren't in order. And they just try to forget like it's going to go away. They don't go away.
Right.
You just do it and be done with it.
Right.
And if you got to buy a new stove, it's not the end of it. Because today the stuff is built like, you buy these sleeve air conditioners stuff. It's built like crap.
Yeah.
There's stuff like some of the stuff I got at the old apartment I bought 25 years ago there. Those Whirlpool air conditioners, you need 2 guys to pull it out and lift it out. Now, the new ones are like, I carry one hand slide in. They're made out of plastic. They last about 4 years, 5 years, and you don't even fix them.
Yeah.
It's not even worth it.
Right.
So you start to do that. You keep the building clean, and you make sure that it's safe.
Yeah.
And that's the formula. It's pretty simple. And people are so scared. What happens if they don't pay you? They don't do this. And I still have a lot of tenants that still have rent that's outstanding. So now I'm talking to them, and I'm like, listen, I'm a landlord. I'm not a rent collector. Let me do my job as a landlord. So now, if you're not going to pay, then your lease won't get renewed, and you can go live somewhere else if you're not happy here.
Right.
I understand. As long as people communicate with you, as long as there's communication, I'll work with, because people have hardships, and I totally understand that. And there's genuine, they have a couple kids, and the car broke down, and this, or the wife lost her job. Understand all that. Communicate with us. Do the best you can to pay me whatever you can, and that's all you can do. Is when they stop communicating, and all of a sudden they go dark. They block you. You can't get. What are we doing now? Now I'm done.
Yeah.
There's no. And then then all of a sudden they get served by an attorney, and a processor serves them. And they're like, oh wait, what's going on? No,
it's been X amount of months.
Come on, it's been I've been trying to get a hold of you for 7 weeks. Now all of a sudden now you're calling.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is communicate. It's simple.
Yeah.
Just communicate. It's. I get it. You have a hardship. All right, I can't afford this anymore. I got some great tenants are like, hey, I lost my job. I can't afford this. I'm going to move out at the end of the month. Cool. What am I going to do? No, I understand. You know you're not going to be able to pay, and that's cool.
Well, them being upfront with you, that's a huge feat in itself.
Oh, that's enormous. That's
right.
That's half the battle. As long as you think about it, when people communicate with you, it's a lot better.
Yeah.
When there's no communication, it's so simple. And some of the tenants now are getting it. And even when the rents were shooting up, they were like, "Oh my God, this rent increase is crazy. I'm going to leave." I go, "But before you leave, go shop around.
Yeah.
And look, see what's out there, and then think about it. And then a week later, oh no, I'm going to stay.
Yeah.
Because and you know what you have here. You know that something breaks, it gets fixed. And my head guy that does all more of my Hispanic apartments, because I have a lot of Spanish speaking tenants, and my Spanish is
so.
Yeah, it's okay. It's
Yeah.
mixed with Italian. It makes no sense, and a lot of hand gestures. So it's
Love it. Okay.
but it's
Like you said, though, in the beginning, like it's about establishing that harmony inside, and like there's trust, right? That's like a huge proponent of why you're so successful with all these. How many apartments? Or
just
units?
under 300 units.
That's insane.
Yeah. So
That's insane.
yeah, it's cool. I mean, eventually my goal was 500. We're not there yet. If I'm going to get there, but you know what? It can happen, because what we're thinking now is we're starting to re-strategize, like take our portfolio, because we're spread out.
Sure.
So my guys, I got 5 maintenance guys that they're going all over the place. Like if we can combine and go in and buy 400 or 500 unit complex and then focus all in one area and like have all in one complex, that might be. And eventually that might be the end game when we want to pretty much not retire, but like back out and
Sure,
have the kids come in. Because right now we told our kids, if this is something you guys want to take, because I think they can take it to a whole nother level.
Sure. Yeah.
The education they have versus what we have, the technology they've gone through. I mean, my niece is a chemical engineer. My nephew Franco is a biomedical engineer. My daughter graduated from Iowa. She works for Beacon Hill, so she's a recruiter.
Okay.
So her first job, and then she left, and and now she's in the sales aspect of it instead of finding the recruiting. So
Okay.
So she's doing real well. My son's still in school, so he's gonna figure out. He's gonna go one more year.
Okay.
Because he plays soccer, so he had a redshirt year, sophomore year. He had surgery on his hip, so he couldn't play. And he graduates, and he's going to go back and get his MBA, and they're going to give him one more year to play. So
Awesome.
I'm like, hey, if they're going to pay a percentage of good percentage of your tuition, and you're going to get another diploma out of it, I go, you're not going to go back. If you leave college, you're not going to go back and take that last year.
Right.
So you might as well go. So,
Right.
And you like it there, and, the environment works for you. So it's cool.
That's good. I like that, passing it down if that's something
If that's what they want to do, if they
want.
don't. But I think they can work together, and they all bring a different skill set. Yeah, so we'll see where the journey takes them, and hopefully we can pass this on and keep it going.
Absolutely.
Because it's all about legacy. You leave something behind. How do you define success? Financially, yeah, that's great, but it's just, having the respect. And, I like when people come up, especially younger kids, like 20, coming out of college, and they're like, you mind if I could talk to you at like party? Always pull me aside. And I'm like, yeah, sure. And they're like really nervous. And I'm like, dude, I'm just talk.
I'm just like you.
Dude, I'm like, I'm just regular. I don't care. I'm not that guy that's going to be, because when I was growing up, we had a condo in Acapulco. And my dad was sick. So he would go to Acapulco. My mom could only go so long with him on vacation. So I would go down there, and there were some serious, Pete Palumbo, Angelo Caputo. I was hanging out with all these guys.
Yeah.
So my dad knew them all as friends, and they'd golf, and I would hang out with them. And it was just, I'm like, wow. I go, one day I want to, maybe I'm not going to get as big as they were, but it was kind of like I had a lot of good influence around me.
Right.
And I was very likable, and they would always talk. Any questions I had, they would always talk to me, and they treated me with respect. The part that I really liked is they were just so nice. They treated me with respect. And who am I? I'm just a 24-year-old guy that's hanging out with my dad to make sure that, if he got sick or had a seizure or something, I was there to help him because my mom couldn't be there. So, and it was just, that's the part that I like. So I want to be that to where I treat people with respect.
Right.
And it's just better.
Yeah. I love that. Helping people out. That's what it's all about. It's helping the next one in line, because, you needed it too, right? And you asked for it. And I think that older generation, when you're looking up to them, they respect when they're asked those questions. They're looking at it like, this kid wants to learn something, and I want to help him. I want to put him on the right track.
Yeah.
And
or at least give him a piece of advice. And I had a kid. When I was in South Carolina over New Year's. So there were these 3 kids at the bar. I walked up. I had kids that were 24, 26.
Yeah.
hey, sir, you look like a really nice guy. You want to do an Irish car bomb with us? And I'm like, sure, I'll do one with you guys. So, we did it. My wife's looking at me, what do you do? I go, hey, they offered me a drink. I'll take it.
Can't
they
be
were
rude.
Nice. No, they were really nice. One was in the military. They were all all nice. Then my brother came, we started talking to them. And then we spent about an hour talking to these guys, give or take. And then at the end of it, he goes, can I ask you one question? If you had to give me one piece of advice, what would it be? I go, never be afraid not to succeed. Don't be scared of not succeeding, because that's going to hold you back and you'll never succeed. Just don't, there's nothing to be scared about. If you have something you want to do and you have a passion about it, then do it. Don't be scared to take a chance in life, because you never know when that chance can change your life. And that's the only piece of advice I can give you. I'll give you that if you want a little piece of it. So he was like, thank you. I go, yeah, there's nothing to be scared about.
Yeah, I love that. So how long have you been married? Let's talk about your wife real quick.
Yeah.
Her name?
This year will be Julie Presta.
Yep.
Yeah. So we've been married. This year will be 25 years in July.
Nice.
July 13th will be 25 years. And I was telling you with the kids, it flies. Interesting story about her. This is how we met. This was, I think it's a pretty cool story. So when I was, because I was married once before. I don't know if you knew that. It was a quick 14-month wedding, but
right.
But anyway, I met her. My dad passed away. Then my uncle passed away, which was your grandfather. Mm-hmm. And then a week later, I met her. So I was like, I wasn't in the right headspace.
Sure.
And at that time, she was saying all the right things, and it was just
they could do that.
Yeah. So it didn't work out. It was no kids, nothing. It was clean, easy, no big deal. So then I would be out. I would go to the bars in the sense. So my wife was, she was a rose girl. She would sell roses in the bars. So I'd see her, and I became friends with her. But nothing. I never bought a rose from her, and so. We're talking, and then finally, after about a year of seeing her out, I'm like, hey, you want to go out? She's like, sure, yeah, here's my phone number. I'm like, cool. I call her. And I was on my way to a soccer game with Soldier Field with my buddies, and she goes, oh, hey, I can't talk right now. I'm doing my hair, I'm like, oh, okay, it's blowing me off.
Yeah.
And then never heard from her again.
Well, it took you a year to actually ask her out. What the hell's the matter?
And I'm like, she's cute. She had, she looked great. And so then all of a sudden I get a phone call from my mom. It's like, hey, Rudy, what are you doing? She goes, come by the salon. I got someone I want you to meet. I'm like, oh. So I'm like, Mom, come on. I was in there. I pull in, and it's Julie in the salon. She was selling hair products. That was her full-time job. She was outside sales. So she cold called my mom's shop. So then my mom called me, and then I came in and I told her, hey, my offer for dinner still stands. And then after we went out, and we ended up getting engaged and getting married, and it's 25 years later.
Crazy. Two kids.
It's a great story.
Yeah, my mom's like, I'm like, and I'm not going to do this again. I walk in and I'm like, Julie. Goes, oh, you guys know each other? I go, yeah.
Did your mom know that you knew each other?
No, she had no idea.
That's crazy.
She had no idea. So it was just like...
It's fate, man.
Yeah. It was, And then it was kind of nice that we knew each other. So she would see me out, and she saw that I wasn't like womanized. So she saw, she goes, I never saw you really. You were just hanging out with your buddies. You like to drink. I go, well, yeah, I did. I cut back a lot now. But I love that fun. That's one thing that I enjoy, is having fun.
Yeah.
But, it is what it is. But... marriage it's got its ups and downs, and you have some hard times. And then my wife she had breast cancer. So this year will be 5 years. So hopefully she gets through this. It's a milestone for her. So we had to go through that struggle. I had this. So it's been, and that's what I could tell you what is important about marriage. And as you get older, because there's always, everybody's like, oh, I could leave, and there's always better. And is it better?
Right.
I mean, when you're sick, there's certain things you can't do for yourself that she's willing to do for me. And like, she couldn't do some stuff when she was sick. So that's what it's about. It's when you're sick and you need help, they're there for you. And that you can't. I mean, that's love. I mean, that's it. There's no, everything else will work itself out. Mm-hmm. So
do you ever get asked, like, how'd you know? I remember when I, with my wife, I'm always like, people always ask, how do you know? She's the one. And it's difficult to tell somebody the feeling that you get, but there's just an innate feeling that you feel that, okay, this is the person that's for me. And I didn't realize that until you meet that person, because you think, oh, you get a heartbreak here or this and whatnot. But when you meet that person, it's a different feeling. It's just weird. It's difficult to explain. I don't know. Maybe you could explain it better.
Yeah. So when I met, I was attracted to her. So there was an attraction. And so then I started to get to know her. And then I realized that she was working, 2 jobs. She'd work a day job. She'd work in the bars trying to make extra money doing this. And I'm like looking at her and I'm like, what really was attractive about her, that she's a survivor. She will do whatever it takes. And at that time we got married, I wasn't, we were starting out. I had a couple pieces, but I wasn't where we are today. And in order to get to where you are, you need a good person behind you, obviously. But it was just, I didn't want to be with anybody else. I saw her and that was it. It's just, there was a connection. And then this was a person that, like, if we go to nothing tomorrow, this person will be behind me, support me, and we're going to do whatever it takes to survive and do whatever we have to do. And that's a quality. And then she's very family oriented. Family comes first, kids, she's my mother. I mean, just, it all came together as a package. And then I looked at her and I'm just like, it was just the feeling was right. It was right. And I was married before and I knew that one was wrong. Even going in, I knew it was wrong. But with her, and especially the way when I came back around and there she was in my mom's salon, I'm like, this is crazy.
Meant to be.
And I was always attracted to her, but for a while then I didn't see her and I'm like, what happened? And then it just,
but you get that social media back then, no Facebook.
There was nothing.
It
was
check in here.
Maybe she moved out of town, or
you just had a cell phone come. I mean, we just basically had those basic cell phones coming out, flip phones, and there was no, But I tell people, people are like younger and talking. It's weird to describe it. When you meet them, you'll know, and it's hard to put how it's a feeling you have. It's just you think about them. You get that little twitch in your stomach, and and then 25 years later, the twitch is still there, but it's not. Yeah. It's a different twitch. But now now you have so many memories and bonds. I'm not saying that.
No, I get it. We get it. Trust me. We hear you.
It's a journey. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. A marriage is a marathon.
Yeah.
Because you're raising your kids, and that's great. While you're raising your kids, you're busy, and then then the kids leave, and now it's the two of us, and. Yeah, it's you got to go back to when you started out, and it's actually been pretty cool. Like my son was home now over break. Now he went back. My daughter stopped by a few times, and it was nice having him there. But I'm like, it's kind of cool having the house back to ourselves. Yeah. I go, it is. I go, it's nice. I go, just the two of us and the dog. It's kind of cool. I mean, I love my kids can. My daughter lives in the city. If she ever wants to come back home, she can. But sure. I don't see her coming back.
Yeah,
she loves it too much. So.
Yeah, I want to kind of go back a little bit and rewind just a little bit on some of these apartments that you have. Mm-hmm. How are you? So, from what I understand, you owning them as well as you're being a property manager for them.
Yeah.
Are you charging them a percentage on top of their rent, or it's building into the rent, or how does that work? Are they paying obviously, like if you own a condo, right? You're paying to an HOA. You have a board. Do you guys have a board? How does that work? How does that differ between like an HOA and owning condo versus, because even in a condo, you still have an HOA that it's managed by a property company.
Yeah. So
how does that work?
Okay. So we have another subsidiary company. We have Verona Management, which is, we do HOAs. So I have condo buildings, townhomes, and then we have medical buildings and commercial offices that we manage. So on the apartment end, since we own everything, we're our own management company. Yeah, and then we do put a management fee in for Franklin, so it's part of the expense. Because most of the income on apartments is passive, it's a great way to make. It's a great income. Passive income. Yeah. Passive income is fantastic. And now with the new tax laws, and there's a little bit more write-offs, and now the depreciation is the big thing that changed. But so I own and manage our own properties. I used to manage we used to have a little wing. I would manage people's single family homes. I had about 15 of them. And then it became, it didn't work. So I gave all those back to the homeowners. And I said, hey, I'm only a phone call away. What do you really need? If you need help finding a tenant, I'll get it for you. I built good relationships with these people. I don't even advertise for this part of it. It just kept building. But then it just became too much with the guys. It's just too small for what we were doing, and it was just taking away too much time from the larger product. So you manage your own, and you could put in your management fees. I don't manage any buildings for apartment buildings for any customers. I just do the retail shopping centers, and then the HOAs. We have a separate company for that. So we get paid per unit management fee. And so basically, you could do the same thing with the apartment. We just set out a flat. At the end of the year, we go through the taxes, say, okay, we need to, you're about 5%, maybe 6% of that you can put towards management fees. And that's how we do it.
Yeah, it's such a great vertical, though. It's like a natural vertical if you keep accumulating properties to just be a property manager.
Yeah. No, it could be, you could do well being, and then if you own your own property and manage your own property, it's even better.
Oh, it's huge.
And I tell people that I'm willing, I will manage people's properties if they come. If you have a 6 flat, a 12 flat, you want something managed. But a lot of these guys always want to try to do it on their own, which is fine. Some of these, they're smaller guys and they got like a couple 6 flats, and I'm like,
well, the numbers don't make sense sometimes. The way they're going to cut you out.
That's but I try to explain to them. I go, well, here, look at your rent structure and what you're doing. I go, I can get your rents to here. You're going to pay me here, but you're going to make this. And it's hard for some of these guys to understand that. Sure. And it's fine. And I'm always willing to, I'll help them out as much as I can. And, they'll ask some questions, and, I don't mind. The problem comes like sometimes my brother runs into this every once in a while, or, hey, I want to build a house. Can you give me the steps? And, I'm like, I'll help you out, but I'm not going to start giving you guys, because now you're going to pull away from me. And that's just, that's just not going to happen. And, anybody who wants help, like I have, some of my uncles have a couple buildings, and I'll help. And, and today, if they got eviction problems or this or that, I'll always get phone calls. Hey, what do? I go, okay, you got to get this notice sent out and this notice. Well, should I go bring it to him? I go, you could do that, or I can give you this guy who's a processor. You pay him $75, $125. He goes there, knocks on the door, hands it to him. Now it's legal. Now, if and most evictions today, I use an attorney. I have an attorney that does it. And basically, because in the courts today, and all my stuff's in DuPage County, it's becoming, more challenging, a lot of mediation. So it's something that I don't want to make. If I make a mistake, it costs me more weeks to tack on to it. So I try not to do that. But answering your question would be, obviously if you manage your own properties, you can tack on a management fee, of course. And because it's actually the properties, some properties are owned by Franklin, some are in other entities and trusts. So that trust has got nothing to do with Franklin, so they're going to pay Franklin to manage their properties.
Let's talk about that. That was my next question. Are you, on all these properties, do you have a main holding company and then series underneath of LLCs? Or?
So, now we started using LLCs across the board when we're buying stuff. But early on, I made some mistakes, if you want to call it mistakes. I own a couple properties in corporations, which probably not the best way to do it. And then I have some that are land trusts that are all set up in trust, but now I'm using the LLCs. That's the best tool. And then you could do series LLCs if you want, but that's the best tool right now is LLCs, 100%.
Now, do you have an issue? The reason why I bring this up is, do you have an issue on inheritance tax where you have to have multiple trusts to lower your inheritance tax? Is that why you guys have multiple trusts, or how does that work?
Yeah, what we're doing right now is, so we're setting up a trust, and then we're taking these properties and putting them all into a master trust. Never relinquishing ownership, but it's basically to defer. Because Illinois, it's a great state. People complain about it and this and that, but you can make a lot of money in Illinois, but you're going to pay a lot. And then the problem with Illinois is the death tax. They hit you. I think the death tax is 28%.
Yeah, I think it's
not even. We're not talking
anything
federal.
over $4 million, I think.
Yeah, so federal's different, but so it's anything you think $4 million, but it's once you hit $4 million. It doesn't start 4 million plus. It goes back to zero. And then so you got to start to protect yourself on that. And on the federal, 11 million.
It changes. Federal changes.
Federal
Who's
changes. The state is eventually when you retire and you want to get out, you got to get out of Illinois and try to move as many assets out.
And they won't let you. They try not to.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough.
The only reason I bring that up for the viewers is just to kind of understand that that's why there's multiple trusts. That's why when you have people of wealth, they have 5, 6, 7, 8 different trusts because they want to get as low as they can underneath that inheritance tax for Illinois, at least in the state that we live in.
Yeah, 100%.
Every state's different, but federal, it's pretty across the board, and it changes inheritance-wise just who's in office and kind of go from there. And that just being able to wealth preserve.
Yeah, like the one property that we had in Itasca, the first one we bought, it was in a trust, and my dad was part owner of the trust. And when he passed, everything just passed.
It's nice. There's no
There was
probate,
no, yeah, that one was
nothing.
that was clean, but that was 20 plus. Yeah, so that one was clean. Yeah, like if something would have happened to me in June and I wouldn't have made it, then it could have been a little bit of tax burden, and it sucked because you work so hard. And I don't mind to pay. Okay, hey, you got a small estate, but you got to pay a 28% death tax on the money
criminal,
that you work.
Man. Yeah, on top of because you already pay tax on that money anyways to buy those properties. So
yeah, and picture guys that own land like farmers and they want to pass it on their kids. Now they got it's
That's wild to me.
that's why
tough.
people can't
wild.
afford to pay the tax. So like if you inherit something and it's not in a wealth preservation fund like a trust, some people can't afford to pay the tax, so they have to get rid of the property.
yeah,
And then they're paying tax on top of that. So it's like everything you've built up for X amount of years, whoever was before you, it can be lost like this.
And then also when you do the trust, you have to do appraisals because, I'll say it's worth X, the state's gonna say it's worth Z.
Yeah.
So we got to we
Yeah.
got to get a compromise there.
How do you do that too? Are you doing cost segregations on all these big units? And how, like a cost segregation for like a commercial property? Would you consider, I know they're residential, like the majority of like your units.
Yeah.
Are you able to do cost segregations on those at all with roofing and depreciation? And
Yeah. So the one problem I have with the Itasca property, the big one, is 27.5 year depreciation. It's depreciated. The basis is zero on that. So we are doing a lot of capital improvements. So right now we're starting every unit that comes up, gut rehab. Because to be honest, I've got some units that still have the same cabinets in there. We just refaced them. For up till 2 years ago, we had the same carpet in the hallways. It's like 27-year carpet. But now we gave it a fresh facelift. And with the new tax laws, the way they changed, now before you depreciate over 5 years, now you could depreciate it in year one, which is
it's huge.
That's going to stimulate us. But it stimulates us to do more work because then I'm going to do next year. I'm not waiting 5 years to recoup my money. I'm doing it right now. So I'm going to rehab more units. I'm going to spend more money, and I'm going to it's better. The way I look at it, it's better for the economy and better for us.
I was just going to say, it kind of forces you to put the money back in and helps the economy
why not?
out.
Yeah. Why pay tax on it? I'd rather throw it back into the building and make the building better.
Right.
It's just, it makes sense.
Have you ever heard of I know a couple guys, what they'll do after they've depreciated it all, they'll sell it to another company that they have, and then the depreciation will restart.
Well, so what's nice about the trust is when we set it up, and then if it passes to the kids, the depreciation restarts. So that's the sweet
nice.
spot. But I haven't done it because then if I would sell it to another entity, I'm going to have to pay the capital gains.
Even if you 1031 it, I guess, or no?
Well, I'd have to 1031 it, but
I don't know how that would work.
yeah, because I'm buying one of my own property, and it has to be a 1031, I believe, has to be you have to have you can't, it has to be arm length deal.
Yeah. I don't know the
Otherwise,
legal jargon with that.
It can get a little hairy, yeah. And I never want to relinquish the ownership.
Sure.
You're like, oh, hey, I can put everything in the trust and put it in the kids' names or in wife's name or whatever. Well, the wife doesn't matter. You could pass everything to your wife. That's pretty much, that's easy.
Rudy's doing it more like on an equity play where like a lot of guys, like after the depreciation's done, like they'll sell the building. They're out. Like they're just there for the cash flow. They don't care about building the equity because their business is all about cash flow and pulling money out, refinancing, depreciating this, 1031ing it. It's a different game he's playing. He's playing more of a long play game.
Yeah. So, and what you said, guys who have, I've bought a lot of buildings from people that have depreciated.
Yeah, they want out.
And most of them are professional, either doctors, lawyers that just have the real estate for the tax write-off.
Yeah.
And then once it's depreciated, they dump them.
Yeah, it's no use to them.
Yeah, and that's a perfect opportunity for me. So it works out.
Interesting.
When they come around.
Now, how come, like personally, I prefer commercial versus residential because I don't have the time to deal with tenants.
Yeah.
And because I prefer to have like a net lease.
Yeah. There's some nice smaller, it depends on the size, but when you get to the larger centers and you get the vacancies,
It hits you.
it hits you. So you got to have some pockets.
Yeah. How long are these? So you got in commercial is it medical? What other aspects of commercial do you own?
No, I don't own any commercial. We manage all the commercials. So the one where we would have a medical building would be Seasons, and that's in Arlington Heights on Rand Road. There's a dentist office, rehab. It's a whole medical facility that we manage the grounds for them and the day-to-day making sure parking lot, roofs, everything is like they bought their condos,
Sure.
their units, and then
You
they
just
run their
manage it.
business and we manage everything for them.
I prefer that too, because just like dealing with a tenant, like as a business owner, if you're running a business out of a brick and mortar, they care about the cleanliness. They care about the way the curb appeal. Like it's easier to get a tenant on board, especially if you're going to lock them in on a 10-year lease or whatever, 2 5-year extensions or whatever it is. It's hard money. You can go to the bank. This is what it is. You're good. You're locked in. If it's a AAA tenant, whatever it is.
Yeah.
That's me personally. Instead of, because I don't have the time to, hey man, you owe me money, or hey, this is broken. It's a full-time job.
Yeah, no, it is. But I have a staff, and well, that's what, like, if you were going to go buy residential real estate, you would just hire a management company, and you know what percentage you're going to pay them, and there would be a lot of tax benefits for you, obviously, and that would work. And then you still have the ownership of the property. But you're right, to do the day-to-day operations.
It's exhausting.
Getting that phone call.
I do it now for ours, and it's exhausting on top of my regular job, on top of my business. And you're like, dude, people are like, there's zero time.
Yeah.
And then you put your family in there, try to manage your family, and then you got a problem with the tenant, then now I can't leave work because I got to go over here to let this guy in, or the guy is closing shop at 5, so I got to leave my job to go over there. And it just...
Yeah.
Or you got a podcast you got to record.
Yeah, that too.
What are you going to do?
Yeah. No, well, see, that's me. This is my job.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like usually I'll wrap up at a certain time, but there'll be times where, I've gotten up at 2 a.m. because we've had pipes burst or this happened or that happened and just got to go do it. And now I have more people in place to do the work that I used to do a lot more, but now I'm more managing and delegating and making sure that things are getting done. Because eventually, like, when my dad was doing it and my uncle, who are, they had buildings, and my dad, we used it and we exchanged them to build and build and build. They would do everything. I remember as a kid, I would go on Harlem and Agatite, go to the 3-flat. We're gonna fix the apartment in the basement, and it'd be like a 3-4 week project because we'd only go 2 days a week and. Do that. And then my goal was like, all right, cool. I get Burger King for lunch. My dad's gonna let me get Burger King. I get my Whopper. So it was like, but yeah, so I was, and I liked it, but they were old school. They didn't want to spend a penny on anything. Yeah. Everything they had to do on their own. And then I started that way, and I'm realizing, wait a minute. If I'm focusing my energy on painting an apartment, cleaning an apartment, I'm not focusing my energy on marketing it, getting more rents, and building more properties. Because when you do the math here, it's pretty simple. If you have 200, 300 units, whatever you have. If you raise the rent $100 a month, do the math, and it just everything multiplies. Mm-hmm. So, and your expenses go up a little, but not as much as so. And it's a way to just keep building and building and building.
Yeah. Do you raise rents yearly, or how does that work?
Yeah, usually yearly.
What, 2-3%?
It depends. Typically now we're going back to the 3%, but a couple of years ago, I was having 10, 20% increases because the market grew so fast and we were a little behind. We tried to fill the gap.
That's what's nice about residential versus commercial.
Yeah, commercial's different. Yeah, it's a whole different animal. Man.
Well, the issue too is like some of these tenants, excuse me, that we have, like the CAM, I can't control that.
Yeah.
I can't control the CAM. I can't control those taxes.
Can we break down CAM for a second?
CAM is common area maintenance. So that's like your snowplow, your landscaping, your whatever it is, anything that the building needs to survive, anything like that. Like it could be, the electricity, if it's, they're paying into it's a, 1 meter, depending what it is. Whatever the building uses is a common area maintenance. Could be like a cleaning service if it's not individual suites, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. And so when COVID hit and those prices went up, I don't eat those prices as the business owner, as the landlord. Those prices get passed along in a commercial property, which would be a triple net property versus like a gross lease property, which are majority of like residential. Yeah. So the difference is like when Rudy's able to raise, 10% rates, in my leases, I'm only raised 2-3%, depending on what that lease is. And I'm locked in at that rate. I can't go above that increase.
Yeah.
So the change is a little bit of a difference is the CAM goes up, which is the common area maintenance, and those costs aren't controlled by the landlord. They're controlled by outside factors or any of those businesses that increase their prices. And that's kind of what that means. And so it's difficult because when you tell, hey man, this is what the end of the year, these are the expenses, and we're getting contracts for next year, you got to pass those along. And a lot of times your tenants will be like, oh, well, let's go with someone different. That's fine. Find somebody different that you can make sure is on time, cleans the stuff, is here for landscaping, is a crew, is reliable. Find somebody. And then, they don't want to do the work to find somebody. Or for like taxes, right? Like if you want to lower your taxes, you can hire the attorney. It's in your lease. Hire the attorney. Okay, get your taxes deducted from whatever it is this year, last year, and apply for that. I'm not going to pay for it because it doesn't. I'm just passing it along. It's just getting passed along.
The taxes are a problem.
Yeah.
Especially when you get into Cook County.
I'm in Cook County. Majority of my stuff is. It just kind of ended up like that. I'm right off Arlington Heights Road and Gulf Road. I've got 2 properties right there. And like one of our buildings, $60,000 in taxes for a medical building. And it's 5,000 square feet.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I'm like, when I purchased it in 20, I think they were maybe 45. Yeah. And so like,
that big of a jump.
It is what it is. And then, I tell you, hey guys, do you guys want to, have an attorney, a tax attorney, figure this out? Like, because, they get pissed at me. I don't know what you want me to do. Here's the numbers, man.
I would always try to fight your taxes.
100%.
You got to try to keep them as low as possible.
And here's the other thing on the, like a business side, right? Like as a landowner, like I want the taxes to go up, because that means that the value of that building is higher. Yeah. So when I go to sell it, I want the taxes to be as high as they can be, because then I'm going to be able to sell it for more versus deducting those taxes or reducing them per se. So, but yeah, how do you? I want to kind of break down, like when you look at a building or a unit, before we kind of get into you building homes, those kind of costs. Yeah. How would you explain to viewers, how do you analyze a deal? Are you analyzing based off of square footage? You're analyzing based off of how much value can I add to this to increase rents? Are you looking at location? Are you doing any like Section 8 housing? Like how are you analyzing a deal, finding a deal, and saying, okay, this is a positive in the deal, this is a negative, and the positives outweigh the negatives?
Okay, we'll take apartment buildings as an example. Location's important. I like freestanding or standalones. I don't like being part of an association. I did own a couple 6 flats in an association. The problem there is the control, the maintenance. It becomes a little bit, and then some of the guys that are the larger majority owners in that complex have too much control, and so I avoid those. Anything that has a shared drive. So I looked at a building a couple weeks ago in Villa Park, 2 10 flats. I'm like, price wasn't bad. I go there and there's 4 buildings, 1, 2, 4 in a row. They have a horseshoe alley that around the back. That was like, I was driving through there. It was like driving through Armageddon. It was like I was in a war zone. Pothole. It was a mess. So I go to the realtors. I go, okay, who owns the outside building? Oh, those were condoed out. I mean, I don't know if you remember back when everybody was doing condo conversions, buying buildings and converting them. 6 flats, convert them to condos. It was horrible. And so I'm like, and they have no money to fix anything. So I go, all right, done. Scratch that deal off. Always look for what I can do added value. And but right now it's a little tough because everything's pricey. It's real pricey, but added value. Let me look at the leases, the rents, the condition of the units, and can I bring the rents up? I haven't bought it. When's the last time I bought? I sold 2. The last thing we purchased, trying to think, would be sold a couple of 6 flats in Downers Grove. Did well on them. And then I bought 12 in Addison and 8 in Lombard. So I switched 12 for 20. More heavy in the 1 bedrooms on those. And then when I bought it, my brother's like, okay, you got to hit these rents. I go, oh, I'll hit these and more. And it was a home run. It worked out. It was good. Condition is a big part of it. Location. It's a hard formula because the prices are so out of whack. I mean, it's like you're going to buy a 12 flat and they want $150 a door, and you look at it and it's heavy on the 1 bedrooms and it doesn't make sense. The numbers don't work. And then once you got to understand too, you purchased that building at the current owner bought it at $500,000. Now he's selling it for $1.8 million. Okay, that tax bill is going to adjust, and you're going to get hit on that. And then your other expenses, you can get the water under control. Garbage, you really can't do much. Most towns lock up the garbage now, so you're kind of under their thumb. Whatever they charge you, they charge you. Water's gone through the roof. I don't know if you've noticed that.
We've seen it.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm like,
it's not just water. I mean, like security for cameras, fire alarms, all that stuff. Like, all that stuff. That's all common area stuff that like people don't like understand when you own a building.
The monitoring of the fire. Well, now since they went wireless, it brought the prices down. When it used to be with AT&T and they were hardwired, it was horrible.
I remember that. And they're like, you got to have this. Now we're not doing hardwired because we use North Central Dispatch for ours up there, and it was like. I got to pay for this now?
Yeah.
I got to pay for you to come in and take the they didn't take the hardwire out, but it's all mobile now.
Yeah. So in order to get you look at the numbers and then you see if it could cash flow out and you try to find the right cap rate. And it's tough, but they're out there. You just, I look at the condition of the building too. How's the roof? If the roof is old and it's a flat roof, you're looking at a huge expense. How are the windows? The cabinets, remodeling the interiors, that's not bad.
Yeah.
That's not really,
Cosmetic.
I mean, it'll cost you a few bucks, but it's not crazy. But windows, roofs, stuff like that.
What would you say windows or
parking
roofs
lots
are like the non-negotiables? If they're messed up, I'm not touching them, or what's a non-negotiable?
You try to negotiate that into the price.
If there's a huge red flag, like what's a huge red flag where you're like, I'm not touching that at all? Like you mentioned,
huge red flag. I'd walk into something that has apartments that are subgrade, and then you look at the walls, you look at paneling, you check behind stuff, and you see, it was soaked with water.
Water damage.
Water damage is
that remediation costs a lot, man.
Yeah. Oh, it's ridiculous. Because now
Illinois passed
new laws now. So if you have to disclose if the apartment ever had water in the basement. And if you do get water, the tenant can just pick up and go. There's no recourse for them anymore. They can just pick up and leave. Because obviously the people have abused. Anytime they change the laws in Illinois and to make it tougher, it's because you got landlords that abuse the rules. That's it. I mean, I was talking to one person, because I have a friend who's a state senator in Illinois, and I was talking to him. And I'm like, listen, if you give the tenants that much power where they can say, oh, you're targeting me, you're going after me because I complain about my toilet. I go, you're opening up a can of worms. He goes, I know why they're doing that, because there's some landlords there that literally tenants are filling buckets and pouring them in the toilet because they're not fixing them. Wow. I go, well, you're going to hurt the good landlords, and that's not because then anybody can say anything, and then I got to fight it. I got to get an attorney. It's getting crazy, and then insurance. That's a nightmare.
It's a headache.
At HOAs, condos, and townhomes, they don't want to do them anymore. It's hard to find, and putting in a claim, unless it's catastrophic,
it's not worth the cost.
It's not
headache. I'm sure a lot of hoops you got to jump through.
I mean, if you're putting $5,000-$10,000
even as a homeowner too, man.
Oh no,
for sure.
Oh, yeah. I just got dropped because we had a garage fire. I had nothing to do with it. 10-unit garage burned down, and they dropped us.
Only one claim. This is your
one claim. The only claim on that building, and that one was a one-off because a lot of my properties we have a master insurance policy. So a lot of the stuff is in with one major carrier, and then there's an umbrella blanketing everything. But there's a couple outlots due to electrical panels or stab locks and different things like that some insurance companies, they won't take it in there. So we get another outside one. And this was Travelers, and they just, one claim. And
that's
how many? I've owned that thing for 10 years of paying premiums, and the garage fire wasn't even our fault. The tenant. In the lease, it clearly said, don't work on your car. The guy was doing whatever he was doing.
Sure.
Splashed something on an electric heater in February. Whole thing torched.
Wow.
And, nobody was hurt. So, no big deal.
Big
and I'm not responsible.
Though,
it's a good size
payout. But that's
payout.
part of insurance.
I go, then what's it for? I go, well, I can't police my tenants.
It's for them to collect your money every month.
That's right.
Yeah, it is. It's tough. Arlington Heights, you see a ton of them. Elmhurst, the whole downtown is like, well, we're getting our first, 5-story big building that's right by the train station. And what was funny was the townhomes behind it. There's a little 4-row of townhomes. We built that. And then when the guy we were at the plan commission meeting, and he's like, I live in the end unit. This thing's going to be huge. I go, sir, I built where you live. I lived in your actual unit. That was my house until I lived there for 2 years and sold it, took the tax break, and built where we live now. And I go, when we built that, it's 37 feet tall. People were like, "Holy cow!" They went crazy. And now you drive by, it's just nothing. But the one next to it it's going to take a little bit of time to absorb that. It's extremely large for Itasca, and I was shocked that that thing got all the way through.
Do you have a lot of like residents show up at the planning commission, like, and complain about new construction? So the reason why I'm asking is because anytime you build something, you have to send out letters to within a mile radius to tell people, hey, we're going to be building here, we're going to be talking about this here, and you give basically the people around you the opportunity to speak on if they want it or not. Well, not that you're going to take their opinion, but that's just part of it.
Because we're here to represent the citizens of the town. So we're basically like, we're their eyes and ears. So like we're supposed to be the pulse of the residents. Sure. And then, but the only time that ever happens is if they're going for a variance. Like there's something in the construction, they're going to shift this or move this where it's outside. It doesn't fall into all this. Otherwise, when we build a house in Itasca, we don't have to notify anybody unless there's a variance.
You're talking about a zoning variance.
A zoning variance. If there's no zoning variance,
zoning variance is where it's going to change from residential to commercial to whatever.
It could be side yards, it could be fence, it could be so like where they built a new apartment building. So what they did was they tiffed the whole downtown. So they want that. So they're trying to develop it and build it up. But it has to be done correctly. I'm not all just throw up big stuff and go. It's you got to piece it right, so it's got a little bit of
process.
Flow.
Explain to the viewers what TIF money is.
TIF money is so what they'll do is they'll take the property tax and on the building they'll pretty much freeze it for 20 years. The schools still get their portion, so it gives a builder and investor an opportunity to. Now I know my taxes are going to be this. They're not going to go up, so I can invest more into the property.
Okay.
And there's going to be, and they're going to stay fixed. And then there's some money the village can get for some infrastructure work, like we'll put the sidewalks in, bring you bigger sewers and stuff like that. It just helps the developer with some money, basically more on that property tax saving. Because if you have the two houses that were there, we're paying $16,000 a year to say, so that's going to stay. Even after the building goes up, because if the new building goes up, the taxes are going to go to X, Y, Z. This gives them an opportunity to recoup and do the development, because in the long run, the development's better for the town. Sure. Bring more revenue in, more people, more foot traffic. So
that's what they want to do with the Bears.
Yeah, that's what
what they want to do in Arlington Heights with the Bears.
Right.
Yeah, I think all the Bears want is, don't they just, they're looking for.
They want to understand what the taxes are.
What the taxes are going to be in 10 years, what they're going to be in 50. Just give us
Because you don't know. When you build a property, you don't get to say, hey, well, this is what the value is, right? You have an assessor that comes out and says, hey, this is this is the value that we assess it as, and this is what you're going to pay. You don't get the option to say, hey, this is what it is, or go back and forth. They tell you, hey, this is what it is based off of what we say. And then if you want to appeal it, okay, you have a tax attorney to go and appeal it. But if you don't have certainty, and your numbers don't make sense on a builder side to actually do it, you're going to just pull back from the deal because you're going to be upside down. And you don't want to be upside down. And now, okay, instead of the cash flow at $5,000 a month extra, now you're in the hole $1,000 that you got to come with out of pocket.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so that's just, and it's nice because when townships do that, they incentivize landlords, businesses to build in those locations, which eventually will bring more revenue to the other businesses around and increase the rents over time.
Yeah, no, in the long run, it works.
Got it.
Some townships don't want to do that though. They're
very nervous about it. Yeah, and you got to get all the taxing bodies on board. The schools, the park, everybody's going to get on board with it.
Are they nervous because there's a lot of risk to it?
Think about this. Like for Arlington Heights, right? We just use them as a subject property, right? The schools want the most money they can for their students to do whatever they can, whatever the budget is, right? If you were the mayor, okay, and say, hey, Arlington Heights school districts, we're going to freeze these taxes on this piece of property for 20 years. They're going to be like, well, they're going to bring in more people. They're going to bring in more students. How are you going to be able to survive or be able to accommodate these people? And so that's what they're fighting against. And it does not just with the schools. It could be in any, there's an entire budget when you look at your taxes where it goes to. Like the fire department, they're going to have more firefighters. They're going to have more police officers. And if the mayor, whoever is saying, hey, we're going to freeze this, they're going to be like, well, we can't afford it in the budget. We're going to have to cut here, and nobody wants to make a cut. So how can you say, hey, this is a $5 billion deal, and your taxes aren't going to go up. And how can you also give the school district what they want and then also accommodate this business? It's a very like ebb and flow on, okay, it's a push and pull. Who can give a little bit here? Who can give a little bit there? Yeah. If you want to bring business into your business, because the cost of doing business, the cost of the trades, the cost of this, it costs a lot of money. And if the numbers make sense, not just the Bears, but anybody would be like, we're not going to do the deal. We're just going to walk away. That's why they knocked down that building. They knocked down the racetrack to lower their taxes. They didn't just knock it down to spend money on knocking it down.
Yeah, because once you tear the house down, then you bring it back down to land value and lowers your taxes till you put up the new project. But yeah, you're right. I mean, if you look at even my tax bill, I look at home, almost over 70% goes to the schools. Between the grade school, the high school, and the College of DuPage, take 70% of that tax.
Same as ours.
We see that too.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, that's the nature.
And then you're stunads like us that pay for our kids to go to Catholic school. So you're getting whacked on top.
Yeah. If you do, you do. Oh, big time. Yeah.
But
like, you live here in Elmhurst, the schools are solid. So, I mean, but I get it. Yeah, even in Itasca, like, my kids went to Lake Park. The other choice would have been Viders. And then basically, I had a friend who sent his kids to Viders. Or he's like, it's like taking a brand new Ford Taurus, you just drive it off the cliff every year. He goes, and he goes, and I pay all the taxes where I live, but we use it's just that's the choice they made, which is fine.
My wife and I were looking at Itasca when we were, getting married, looking for houses, and you've got decent sized lots there. You get a little bit more space out there than you do in Elmhurst. I feel like
there's certain part depending on which parts of town. There's like the R1 zoning and then the R2 zoning. So the R1s are the bigger lots. That's Country Club Park along the golf course. That's off Lombard Road. They got some. I mean, there's some monster lots. And then we also have a ton of 50-foot lots by 134s. So Itasca, when it was built, so a lot of people would be like, the lots back when they were building these houses were a couple grand for a lot. So people would buy two, build a house in the middle.
Sure.
And then when we would come in and say, so they were, it's 100 by, I'm just going to use it, it's 100 foot wide by 134, but it was subdivided 50 foot down the middle. So when you would come in, you'd buy the house, tear it down, and you put two houses in place of it. And then, I don't know if you've ever been to Tony's house. He lives on Parkside.
Yes, he just built over there.
Yeah, we built it for him.
Nice.
That's his house. Yes. So, and then he had the vacant lot next to him. We just built that house.
Nice.
Those were 55 footers.
Nice.
So there are a lot of smaller ones. And then I'm in an R1 zoning, but I'm a non-conforming. So my lot's 100 by 110 deep. But then I put 80 feet by 40 foot house on it. So boom. I mean, it's like takes up the whole lot.
Yeah.
But there are some nice parts where you got some acreage. It's pretty nice. And the prices have slowly, even your small houses now, it's gotten pricey.
Yeah.
There's just no inventory.
What's the cost for like an average takedown in Itasca?
A teardown, what I would like to pay is different than they're hard to find. Sometimes you get a couple of those double lots. South side of town, in the corner, they're probably going to go for about $180 a lot. And that's on the small side. Now, anything nice as you get close into the town, you're going to be $300,000-$400,000 if you want something bigger. Like here in Elmhurst, it's
big money.
It's a whole different animal.
Yeah.
You're spending $5-6 for a teardown.
I can't believe it now. Like for what we paid for the teardown and like just the cost to build. I talk about this with my wife all the time. Like if we didn't have the interest rate that we had, like we couldn't afford to live here. I don't know how people are doing it now. Because I mean, like you saw, I didn't need to build this big of a house.
Yeah.
But we had the opportunity and the cash on hand and the interest rate, everything kind of worked. But dude, I see these people now that are just building. I'm like, dude,
what are you doing?
And you're not even build the caliber and how, I mean, you're paying $15,000 a month and a mortgage.
Oh, so you remember the crash? So, in 2008, I don't know if you guys remember. So when the market crashed. So prior to that, we were building houses. And this was the formula what was going on. So they buy a new construction for $650. They live in it for a year. And then next year they sell it for $750. And then it started to become all the goofy loans they started getting. No interest only. I would go to a closing. We closed on a house for $700,000. I went. We got our check, and then that guy got his mortgage, and then walked away with $100,000 because he took a second position on it and walked out. Worked great because next year he's going, I'll sell it for $800 or $850, and then we'll keep jumping up on
Keep
houses.
rolling it.
And then it collapsed. And now what? Now these guys are sitting here upside down on their houses and
not just houses, commercial stuff too.
oh yeah, it had more. The houses really got hit, but some of the the commercial stuff was because of the condo converters.
Yeah.
I remember going to a Blackhawks game. We were in owner's box, and I was with all these. Oh, this guy's doing. Look at these guys. You guys are crazy. You should be doing condo conversions. I'm like, it doesn't make any sense. This is like, my brother and I look at my brother like, this makes no sense whatsoever. And for a while they were making money, but then when the market collapsed,
they felt it.
They took bads.
Nobody can pay the rent,
Yeah.
If you're buying some and you can't cover the mortgage, and I'm planning on spinning them off, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
But it was just that was a rough time. I mean, it was like, but it was great for us because all these people that were upside down and all these we were just grabbing up, picking up all these little houses and all this stuff up. Because I'm like, we're stupid, I guess, no, but we're not. I was just we're just holding and holding and holding and building and selling the houses off. And I'm watching people walk out. I go, this guy walked out with $100,000 on top of what we sold it for. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And he's no interest only. Both husband and wife are working. Everything's great. And one person loses their job. The values start to drop. Everything, and the whole formula it was bad.
Isn't it the best feeling when? I wouldn't say it's a good feeling, but as a guy when you have the cash on hand and something goes south because a guy miscalculated a deal, and you could, I wouldn't say take advantage of the deal, but you're just putting yourself in that environment. Now let's just say he bought it for $500,000. He's going to take a loss and sell for you $400,000. Yeah. Isn't that a great feeling?
It's
like
a good. I feel. I mean,
you feel bad for that person, but that's business.
But that's business. Yeah, it's not personal.
It's great to have that leverage, and it takes time to get there. Yeah. But when you can, and those are like those little deals, which I gained 100 here, and you didn't do anything besides just being in the right time, right place, and saving and being able to do that. It's a good feeling.
Yeah, and another good feeling is when you're, I like dealing with small banks. I used to bank with Citibank, and then they got bought out by Travelers and Chase. I like the small banks. Itasca, Pan American, Millennial, and I'm still the guy that I like to go, because every once in a while I do get some tenants pay with cash. So I go to I'm always the one, I love to go to the bank. I always went to the bank with my dad when we were kids. And you walk in, hey, Rudy, how are you? You get to know everybody in there.
Different. Yeah. It's a
and then I could pick up the phone and just get things done. And it's so easy and so nice. And I love the personal touch. It's just walking in where my brother's like, nah, why? We just scan the checks and go, and I don't even want to go in. It's a waste of time. He goes, I stop in, there's the president of the bank. I'm talking, next thing you know, it's a 30-minute conversation. I'm running the bank for 5 minutes. I'm in there for almost an hour. Because then you start talking to them. Yeah, they start talking. It's cool, but it's...
Yeah, the tellers. It's nice.
It's
I like
great.
that.
I do too. I love talking to them. It's nice, then my wife comes in, I get my kids, they have a problem, something happened, they just phone call, and I go, just tell them, that I'm your dad, whatever, and they'll work with you, and boom, it gets done. I love that. That's
cool.
I love the small banks, and it's good.
Who do you use? Wintrust? Old National?
No, I use all my main banking, all our checking and day-to-day operations runs through Itasca Bank.
Okay, you're keeping it local.
Local, yeah. And then I use Pan American's great, Millennial or newer. Pan American's been around for a while, and I know both of the guys that run those banks.
You know Frank Cerrone?
Yeah, I know him. Yeah, he's a great guy. I went to his Christmas party. He invited us, and I went to the cigars and bourbon.
Do you go to his golf thing he usually does every
year? I didn't do the golf.
The Chooch, what do they call it? The Chooch or something like that?
Yeah, I didn't do that. I went to the cigars and bourbon at Medina. That was fun. Yeah. That's
Frank's a good guy.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Yeah, I like him. And it's nice. It's
a good time.
I walk in, even the one in Bloomingdale. I don't go to Melrose Park that much, but I walk, and they know you, and I don't even have to give my account number. Hey, put this in my check. Yeah, no problem,
done.
and it's done. I don't even have to give an account number.
Yeah, that's nice.
Try that at Chase.
Oh no, you'll be waiting in line.
Yeah.
Can I see your ID? Can I see your second ID? This and that.
I mean, literally, I was going to Chase, and I had a check, and I had about $130 in cash. I need to see your ID because you're depositing. I'm like, what?
I'm not asking you for money. I'm
giving you guys money.
And you're putting into this account. This is my account. I'm like, they wanted to see I'm like, that's great. I just can't do that. But we do deal with Wintrust with some of the shopping centers deal with Wintrust, but that's fine. I don't mind. I barely go into those banks, and I really don't know. And yet we have a customer service rep to get stuff done. A lot of it's over online. It's
a different animal.
It's a whole different animal. I prefer the smaller banks.
I'm with you too, especially starting out in business. Like I remember when I went to go to a bank and they don't give you the time of day.
Yeah.
But the small business ones, or like the smaller community ones,
they take the time.
They do.
They take the time.
And I feel loyal, man, because they
Yes.
gave me a shot. I wouldn't be here without them if I didn't, be able to get that money to start a business.
Yeah.
And so you feel like you got to give back. And I don't mind paying them juice.
Yeah.
Because they help me.
Right.
Well, I do. I do use Chase. I have a commercial guy at Chase for our bigger loans because Chase will do bigger. Some of these banks won't do the loans as big as sometimes we need. So the Chase Bank is really good on larger loans and commercial, like some of my bigger apartment buildings when we refinance. They're good for that. But that's
their customer
the day to day.
service
The day to day is tough. It's tough.
Yeah.
It's
I agree with
their credit cards are good. Citibank's credit cards are good with all the bonus, but not. Yeah. So
I want to talk about you and your brother, the dynamic there. Like you guys are pretty close in age. You're
3 years apart.
3 years apart. Is there like a little like you ever get that competitiveness with him and like I could do this or you guys always team strong?
No, it's strong. I mean, it's always a challenge working with your brother,
Sure.
and then and sometimes we do a lot of stuff socially together, and it's tough, but he's a solid guy, and he's really smart. He's the money guy. He's the finance guy.
Okay.
He's always running the books and the numbers and this and that. And I'll do more of the day-to-day stuff.
The managerial thing?
Yeah. Like I was telling you, if you want a house built, my brother will build you a phenomenal house.
Mm-hmm.
If you want your house rented, I'll rent it for you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the difference. Like, I could build a house, but I can never even come close.
Yeah.
And if you guys ever get a chance to go look at the one we've got close to here.
Off
I should
Myrtle?
We'll definitely check that out.
You got to go in there.
I hope you keep building them by me, man. Keep raising
coming this
my
way.
keep
coming
building
this
them.
way.
But getting back to that, so and it's there's a lot of trust, and I can trust him blindly. I don't, I'm not worried.
Yeah.
And early on when he got divorced, and sometimes in the early on part of marriage, like, oh, you got this and I didn't get that.
Yeah.
But you grow out of that. It doesn't matter. And I go, it really doesn't matter. I'm going to sit here and bicker about what. If you need something, then just go do what you got to do.
Right.
I need something, I'm going to talk. I'll talk to you. And hey, if I need it, I do it. If I want it, that's different. I'll work. I'll save my own. But if I need some of that, it really showed. So when I had my surgery, so I was, how he stepped up and just, did everything and just like took it over, like, and for 6 weeks, I was pretty much, the first month, I didn't go in the office till about a month later. And then everyone's like, are you collecting disability? I go, no, I got my own company. How the hell are you running it? And I go, well, my brother he just naturally just took it all over, and he just started doing everything. And he started dabbling with the apartments, and it was a learning curve because I was talking to my lawyer, and we made a little joke. I go, he's just, there's a learning curve on it. It seems like it's a simple form, but there's the dynamic of the tenants, and and all the tenants like to talk to me if there's ever a problem. And I'm a little bit, I know them, I have a little bit more insight on them than he does, so he can be a little bit less patient with them. But the way he stepped up and to go, and then it was like I was like overwhelmed by that. It was crazy.
It's awesome.
He's like, don't worry, just because I didn't start going back to work, to the office. I would get dropped because I couldn't drive for 6 weeks, so my wife would drop me off, and I had about maybe 45 minutes to an hour in me, and I would sit at my desk, the secretary. I would just go there more to BS with the with the staff, just to keep everybody's spirits up, And then I love my office staff; they're great, and yeah, it was just that's where it really. You don't know until you're in a position, and then you really see it. We both we're just two different people, and we have different roles, but it works together. It's like, and it's like there's times we fight. Sure. There was times I didn't talk to him for a month. He pissed me off about something, and I'm like, and no big deal. But then you get over it and you move on. Because I see a lot of business partners who were brothers, and they've gone south, and it's gotten ugly. And I'm like, there's no reason for that,
Breaks the family apart too.
It does, and there's no reason.
You two, right?
Like his daughter, she got married. We built her a house. I mean, she paid for the house, whatever it was, and I know that when my kids, if when they want a house, they want to, and they afford a house, whatever, we'll build it for them, and he's gonna. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just it's tight. I mean, he's next to my wife, and those two are my best friends.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I can pretty much tell my brother anything, and it's kind of cool to have that relationship. So I don't feel like I go to work. I just go, and it's a fun place, and I like to make people. My New Year's resolution was to be 20% funnier. That's my New Year's. And
How do you measure that?
You heard it here first. Yeah.
No, I'm being honest. It's like, I love to laugh.
20% funnier.
20% funnier, yeah. Because why not? Make people laugh and smile.
Yeah.
Life can turn on a dime on you, dude. You just
Yeah.
gotta be there, enjoy it, do what you gotta do, take care of your responsibilities, and then enjoy life.
Yeah.
And that's all you can do. And enjoy the people around you. And like I told you, we got great family, dude.
Yeah.
You have no idea how great it is.
Truly are blessed.
Yeah.
What do we want to talk about next? You want to pivot to the custom homes? Or
Yeah, let's talk about that. I mean, it's not your day-to-day thing.
No, but I can.
You've got 65 plus, 65.
So yeah, in Itasca, we built 64.
64.
Individual custom homes, tear downs, double lots. We have never built a subdivision. We're starting to look into it. I mean, eventually, not a big. I would like to build something, but hopefully one day we'll do that. But right now we're so in Elmhurst here. What we're doing here, we partnered up with two other guys because they're big in Elmhurst. I don't know if you know Russo Pool and Spa over there. On
Oh yeah, I know what
okay. So we built this house. Anthony, great friend of mine, great friend of my brother's. So they have, as he puts it, I have more water in Elmhurst in the backyards than anybody else. He's got 3 crews that work Elmhurst for pool maintenance.
And the water ain't cheap. Elmhurst.
And he's been here forever. I mean, they've been in Elmhurst. So we're starting to do these higher end homes. So figure partner up with them. They have more connections with the village. They know more inspectors. And then also, we also can offer, hey, we'll build your house. You want the pool, the whole backyard experience. We could do it all in one shot for you instead of coming in and then doing the pool later and ripping out. We can do it all at once. And some people like that. So we partnered up with those two guys, and because they're a similar situation as we were. They both lost our father when we were younger. And, and sometimes people are like, oh, hey, these guys they don't have their dad now, this and that. But it ended up working out.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Do you know Iggy Library by chance? Library and Son Contractor? They do a lot of work with Russo.
Yeah. He's
concrete
guy. Yeah.
He's my wife's first cousin.
He's really good.
Yeah, he is.
He did Anthony's driveway. Absolutely. He went above and beyond. And really does nice work. Really nice guy.
Yeah.
Solid. Yeah.
He did the concrete by my parents' house, and Drew saw it once, and he never stopped talking about it.
Yeah.
He loves it.
Yeah.
No, he's a good guy. He's a good guy. Yeah.
Awesome.
Will you touch on how intimate a relationship is when you're with a client building a custom home? The amount of time that you spend with them, going over the costs, the finishes, what this is, and it's a very building a home.
Yeah, it's almost.
I understand it.
Yeah, if you're building for a customer hires you to build a home, or when you're building and you get a customer early. So what we're trying to do now is we're starting the process and starting to get the house to a certain point, and then putting it on the market. It's just to help the process
speed up.
But you still get the pick because it's while you're building a house. It's I would talk to my brother about it. He goes, it's like a marriage. You're actually married to these people till the project's completed. And but we found some ways to make it easier for the homeowner and for us. Is you find a good interior decorator that they like, then it helps the customer make their decisions a lot quicker and easier than, because, I like this. And then tomorrow, well, I want this. Okay, no problem. It's your house. But so now with the interior decorator, you don't get a lot of that. It's always going to be, they'll help them along. And then once they get the vision and things start coming together. But, it's like anything. Sometimes usually they're typically all good once in a while, but you run into maybe you have a little issue here or there. But overall, it is like a marriage for the amount of time. And it does consume a little more time to build a house. But you're giving a customer what they want. And, when at the end of the day, they're happy. Because we really don't advertise. We're not putting our name out there. We're not on it's all word of mouth.
Yeah. I remember when I built my house, because I had a poor experience on the commercial side with dealing with developers and stuff like that. I actually interviewed 5 builders and just took because I knew a little bit behind the scenes on, the relationship you have with that builder and the time you're going to be with them. And I think that was really important for us is anytime you're going to build a house or any type of property, you want to make sure you actually sit down with the builder, because a lot of these builders, they won't even give you the time of day. They won't even like sit down with you. They'll pawn you off to somebody else. And I didn't like that, because if I'm going to spend buku bucks with you, I've got no problem, but I want to be able to make sure that we can have a communication line, and that, you know, I'm not going to be talking to somebody else. You're going to pawn me over here. Like, that's super important, because when you get in the thick of it and, hey man, we need this payment or this, or like something goes south and whatever it is, it gets dicey.
Yeah, no,
it gets dicey in that relationship, man. Especially now with the, you know, I remember it was like, okay, lumber's at this price. We need to buy it now because it went down versus it going up. And if we don't, it's going to be an extra 10, 15,000. And it's not like you can go to the bank and be like, hey, I need this, because the bank's going to appraise it at that. And any extra or anything over is on you. And then that's what, when we talk about like redoing stuff or adding value, do the numbers make sense? Because the cost of the labor, the cost of this goes up and down, the tariffs on whatever, you know, things that you want to bring in from, you know, other countries. And it was huge for me, man. We had a great builder. We still do. His name is Anthony James Builders, John Zanfordino. He lives in Elmhurst, right off of Berkeley over here.
Oh, that's cool. A lot of good builders in Elmhurst.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good guys out there.
Man, I mean, he basically is like my property manager for all the other properties now.
No, that's cool.
Because I have such a like intimate relationship and can trust him. Like, hey man, I need you to do this, boom. And it gets done. It gets done. There's accuracy. You know, you see their numbers clear. Like, I understand you got to make money. I get that. But like, there'll be times where I remember with our commercial thing where it was like, okay, this was, you know, $250,000 for earthwork. Okay, well, what's earthwork? Or, you know, there's just, it's not detailed. I want to know what we're spending, because every dollar counts.
Oh yeah.
And you got to know exactly where it's going. And then we didn't have an interior designer. It was my wife did it all.
Yeah.
And that's a very difficult process too on your marriage.
Yeah.
Sure. Because
I can't imagine, dude.
You know, I'm going to work, and then she's trying to go to Floor and Decor. She's trying to get inspiration here, and then she's trying to communicate with the builder. And I'd be like, "Well, I didn't talk to you about this. Oh, I made a call on this." You know, so it's a tough time with your wife or your spouse or whatever too, because you'll be like, "Well, why do we need this?" You know, but it's interesting, man. But it's something I don't know I would do again. Because, you know, we built our home, our forever home, and we didn't want to buy a house and renovate here, renovate here. That was the issue.
No, I get you.
Because we looked at Itasca too, and it just was like, do we want to have the time to, you know, invest in a build? Is it worth just buying this and doing it here? And, you know, at the time I had a daughter, we were living in River Forest in a condo, and we ended up, I'm like, hey, I just did the numbers. It just doesn't make sense. If you're going to buy this and want to renovate it, I don't want to, you know, go in there and deal with all the dust. And it's just kind of what we did. But very intimate process, man. I'll tell you. But
it can be challenging. I've seen a lot of couples. They end up arguing a lot over like silly stuff. But one thing, like when you go with a builder like my brother, okay, he'll pick whatever finishes you want. He'll try to guide you with this or that. But where he could save you money is the stuff behind the walls that you don't see. That like why you got this laid out like this and you're using a 2x12 here. If we change this and do this and do this. This could be a 2x10. It'll save you $1,500 or $2,000 on this, just on lumber, for just making a small modification, which makes no difference to this room.
Yeah, structural.
And it's stuff like that you don't see, that these architects just draw these things, and it's like, okay, wait a minute. What about if we do that? And then he'll sit with the architect. That's an important part. And we had a great architect, and he passed away, and it was kind of a hit. Now you're trying to, you know, my brother found somebody he likes, but it was when you had a guy that would just sit there and he was passionate about it and put these elevations together and lay these floor plans out, which were fantastic. And then we lose them. It was kind of hard. He worked with them for a long time. Because on those 50-foot lots, those small houses, we've got such a great floor plan that it's been refined over so many years. It's a great house. You walk in, it's like, wow, it's like perfect. It's got everything you need, just enough room where it needs it. And it's not huge and it works. So
yeah, in those neighborhoods too, like, you know, in Itasca and Elmhurst, like nobody wants the same looking house.
No,
right? Like, you have the typical Elmhurst like farmhouse, and you can go down the street and be like, oh, we're in Elmhurst now. And but like a lot of people don't want that, you know, and that's not what we wanted. But I can I can see how, like it's whatever the new thing or whatever.
Especially when you're working on these 55-foot lots and your
That's
elevation now you're just
max.
trying to tweak the elevations and
Yeah.
trying to give it a little different look. And, the one on Myrtle, we did this. The one on there, we're trying to do this. And every one, you got to try to give it a different feel. And it's challenging.
Yeah. It's always cool to see the development process of a house being built.
It is fun. And then when you see the finished product, like I took my wife, we went to go look at the finished product or whatever, and she walks in the basement and it's got the glass wall with the door and the workout room it's like, holy crap, I love this. She goes, I'd move here. I go, yeah. I go,
Take it easy.
I go, take it easy.
This one's for sale. This one's for sale.
Yeah, this one, yeah. But no, it's the details is what you got. It's just the details is ridiculous because you got to justify, how do you come up with that price point? Yeah. And then when you go through, and then when you're a realtor, we use Tim Schiller, and they're huge here. Schiller.
Yeah.
And there are 4 different, and he comes and says, no, I think we price it at this because I'm putting the value, and you guys are up here with all the high-end builders. Right. So he goes, you got value here. Don't give your product away. You have a beautiful house, and nobody builds them like. I mean, there's only a few guys that build them like this. And that's a compliment to my. Just that's what makes it fun. Mm-hmm. When you get the comp, and then you hear how just people compliment how beautiful it is and this and that. And we built Jenny a house.
Nice.
Yeah, she moved it. She's down the street from my mom.
Okay.
Yeah. So she went to a ranch and she couldn't live where she was.
Was that Bartlett?
She was in Bartlett. Now she's in Bloomingdale.
Yeah.
And then because her daughter wants to go to Lake Park, so that's Lake Park. And they're right down the street from my mom, which is kind of nice for her too.
Nice.
And she's moving in this weekend. It came out. It's a little nice
awesome.
little ranch. It's beautiful.
That's
beautiful
awesome.
little ranch. She's happy.
It's all about family, dude.
It is.
People helping family.
Yeah.
I love it.
How do you guys carry the cost on the build? You guys pull from line of credit? You guys pay just interest on the loan, or how do you do that?
Yeah, no. So right now we self-finance our projects.
Oh, it's nice.
Because so, and that's why sometimes we bring in partners.
Yeah.
On certain things, like the ones in Elmhurst here, we brought in a partner. It just makes it. Otherwise, it gets
there's less red tape.
It's a lot easier to build, and then we still use a title company.
Sure.
Everything goes through a title company, but we just fund it, and then. And then as we get building, we'll, and then if the customer decides to pull the trigger on the house, we take a good sized down payment and then use that towards the build too. So, it's it gets finished, you got a lot of money out there, but it's the interest rate. I mean, I'd be paying probably 6.5, 7. So this is a better way to
big time.
So like your buyer, like you have a buyer, right? You'll still self-fund the deal and then they'll go to the bank and instead of taking a construction loan, they'll just take a regular mortgage.
Yeah, they'll just
That's nice. I had to do a construction loan.
I still own the land. If you have the house, then you go.
That's what I did.
Yeah, you got to get a construction loan and do it that way. And typically, when we have, reason why I like to use the smaller banks, like if I get a customer, one of our things is like, okay, if you're going to do the construction loan, I want you to go through Itasca Bank because I deal with Itasca Bank. I know the process to get the money to. There's some of these other banks. Brutal.
What he's touching on too, like when you build a house, when you go to the bank, they say, okay, we're going to give you this much money. Once the builder gets a certain part of the build done, they have an inspector come out and make sure that all that stuff is done.
Right.
Then you have to sign off on it. And then they go to the bank, they release the funds to the builder, and then you go to the next process. So when you do a construction loan, there's different phases. And that's to protect, the homeowner or the person. And that way the builder doesn't take advantage or gets money and then runs away.
And it protects us too. It gives you clean title.
Yep.
Everything is transparent. It's all right there. And it's an easier, even like I said, even self-funded, we still use a title company.
Yeah.
Because then you get a clean title, you're done. And all the money is accounted for. There's it's easy.
And we only pay interest, or whoever has the construction loan only pays interest on the money that they take. You can pay principal, but majority of people just pay the interest, and then you basically have balloons into a mortgage at a fixed rate of whatever your prime is at that time.
Yeah, and it depends on the buyers. And I mean, sometimes you get a cash buyer who just comes in and just has the funds, and it's that works too. Same thing, but they'll still use the title company. But it's definitely challenging. Every day is different because there's so many different variables, and then the other variables you get the crazy neighbor. in Elmhurst. All of a sudden, oh, my driveway cracked. It's this.
He
It's
knows,
that.
he
I'm
knows, he knows
I got
about
I'm
crazy
like, what? Wait a minute, your driveway cracked.
Yeah.
I go, come on, just some, and they don't like change, or I don't know what it is.
Oh, man. I remember
Yeah, calling the village all the time and this,
calling
and
the
that.
cops.
It's crazy.
I had to deal with Elmhurst, the city, because I had this tree where my driveway's at.
Yeah.
And, we wanted to put a driveway there because the house was facing Montrose side.
Yeah.
But obviously we did it where the garage is there. They had an arborist come out for a tree. It has to be so many feet far from the driveway or whatever.
Yeah.
They said the value of the tree is $15,000. I had to pay $15,000 to take that tree down, and I had to pay for them to take it down.
That's crazy.
Just so I could build my driveway where I wanted to.
Did they
because
make
my
your-
square footage, based off the land size.
Did they make you plant anything back?
They did not.
Say, like, we go to Northbrook, if it's on your property.
And I wouldn't mind planting it back if you would just let me keep the tree there. Because the tree didn't impose where the driveway was. It just wasn't within 18 feet or whatever away.
Yeah, the problem what they're worried about is that when you dig
taking
it,
the roots out.
you're gonna stress the tree, and eventually you could lose it.
The 40-foot tree, I get it.
No, they're not. That's before everybody's like, oh, you rip down trees, you guys are crazy. No, trees like that we try to preserve because you can't replace them.
Yeah,
how are you gonna replace a tree I can't even hug?
Right.
Years and years, no.
No, it takes trees are. And another thing we got to, you guys tear down everything. No, what we started doing too, and I ask it too, is you take an older house and you give the fret, and then you gut rehab it inside, and they walk in, it's a new house, but we've been doing a lot of that now too, and that's very popular.
Keeping the bones of
the bones, as long as it's got good bones,
right?
And then tweaking the outside, making it really nice,
right?
And then you walk in, everything is brand new
house.
We keep a few things like old front door, refinish it to preserve some of the character of the house, and those sell extremely fast. Those are and they're not as high ticket price because you're not tearing it down and doing a whole rebuild. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of people like that because it's part of the community. So we're not all just come in and bulldoze everything. There's some stuff that you can
try to preserve the character. Yeah,
and then there's some stuff that there's no character.
You can't save some of the stuff in Elmhurst.
No.
Yeah,
I mean, some of this, I'm like,
I've been in a lot of them.
You look at the house and you're like, dude, it should be condemned. There's people don't want to get with the change. I wouldn't even say get with the change. It's just like you're trying to improve the neighborhood. I'm not spending all my money here to not make it look nice.
Yeah.
Right.
Like even on the commercial side, when you deal with villages, it's like, especially with planning and zoning, like I don't want to make my bricks soldier just like this building because I don't want it to be the exact same or look the exact same.
Yeah.
Like I don't want it to look old. Like I want it to look new, clean, modern. I want to be able to attract a tenant so he can use it. Like,
well, it's because you got a lot of like I said, a lot of old people don't like change, and they've been here so long and they're used to what they're used to, and they feel that they're losing integrity and character for their town. But then when they come to sell it, they're real happy. They want top dollar.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I always say that too.
Interesting.
I'm like,
tables turn like that.
Or eventually, we all pass away eventually, and when older people pass away, the kids or the family comes in and they just dump the thing. They don't care.
Sure.
I mean, it was grandma's house, but so what? Let's get rid of it and just move on. And that's I see that a lot.
Yeah.
It's good in the long run. It's going to be good. It's going to change a little bit,
man. It's good for the taxes for this time.
But everything changes. Nothing stays the same. Everything's going to evolve, and you just got to do it slow and try to do it right and put it together so it makes sense. You're not just going to overwhelm and knock down a whole block and put up something that just doesn't fit. You make it try to fit. So, like Itasca is a historical district, so some of the houses are falling into that, and they want a certain elevation. We'll go in there. What color brick, this, that. They try to give it a little bit of at least some kind of look, not just to build these brick monsters. And now we don't even, we use a little brick, but now everything is mostly framed. Yeah. People like the framed and hardy board, and before they were all brick, and now and times change.
Cost the brick
a little more
expensive.
Yeah. But hardy board isn't cheap either.
No, nothing's cheap right now.
Right.
But hopefully we'll get back to it'll adjust. It'll never go back, but it should adjust. And labor got expensive too.
Yeah.
Everything got expensive.
What's one thing as a viewer or listener, like if they wanted to get into real estate, like what's something they should start doing? Should they start by saving? How much money should they save? How can they, slowly start to build that? portfolio and kind of transition their 9 to 5? Like, because I know it's tough now, man. There's like saving just with the cost of living and like different back when you started and being able to leverage that. But how can like an average Joe do that? Like, do they have to save 50,000 up? I mean, to get, you know, a 3 flat now? Just on the cost?
I mean, if 3 flats have gotten pricey, but if you're, a good way to start is to try to buy something, if you could afford it, a 3 flat, 2 flat, a duplex, something where you can get in, you live in a unit, and you rent the other 2 out. And if it's under 4 units, you can get a residential mortgage. You can get a 30-year mortgage. Once the so that's a good way to start. That's how my parents started. They got the 3 flat, lived in one, collected the other 2 rents, offset. And it was funny. I looked, the mortgage payment was $227. Their mortgage when they bought that thing. It's like, I can't. I mean, it goes back that probably
the gym membership costs more than that.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then so you collect and that's a good way to start. Or sometimes you'll buy a condo in the right HOA, or if you can get a small single family, and then, hey, you know what? Now I'm married, I got kids. I can probably swing keeping a single family and let me, buy another house and live in that. And then meanwhile, you got this set on a 30-year mortgage. They're never going to come back to you and say, hey, pull it out.
They're not going to pull
They're not going to pull the loan out as long as you're paying it. And then that's a good way. And then eventually you start renting that and you turn it into a rental. Then you can take that and exchange it for you can take that single family, try to turn it into a 6 flat. Then it's all, the numbers are relevant, because if you go back, right now it's $150 a door is getting pricey. But so that would be the way to do it, would be to try to get into a 3 flat if you can get it, if you can swing it, because you've got 2 offsetting rents. And then once you fix that, get that mortgage on there, then you can move in another, and then those are easy to spin off. You could easily sell a house to take that money, put it into a 6 flat or another 3 flat or 4 flat. If I don't buy 3 flats, I don't. If I'm going to live in it, it works. If you're going to try to rent a 3 flat, you want 6 flats. People are used to it. 6 flats are your typical apartments. 12 bigger ones are fine. It all works. But when you get into a 3 flat, typically you got garbage cans. Someone's got to wheel them up front. You get one guy in there who thinks, oh, I'm kind of the building manager guy, and it just, the chemistry is tough. It's really hard. It's too close to, if you live in one and then, it's my building, I'm in charge, I'll make sure that everything's done. And the other way, we had a few 3 flats. It was, they're good to spin them off and get exchanges, but if you buy them right. But now I wouldn't even touch one unless it's a steal. Just because of the dynamic with the tenants, it's tough.
Sure.
But that's a good way to start. I would get something small, and if you can keep it and make the next step and build a little equity in this, and it's a hard process, but you got to work. You got to work, and if and you got to save your money. And that's tough right now.
Yeah. What would you say? What percentage of equity would you get to after your first, rental, to be able to pull out, refinance, and put down another building or another piece of property? How much do you like to get to as far as equity into the deal?
If you can get to 60%, you get about 40% of equity.
You pull that out.
Then you can pull that out and use it towards, and keep that property and buy yourself your other resident. That's a good way. Our equity position is a lot higher, but I've been doing it a long time. But I would say that would be a good start, and it's tough to get there.
Yeah. It takes a while.
But the property values go up. So then when you can do it, you can take that little property, refinance it, but the interest rates are hurting right now.
Yeah,
they're coming down, and we're never going to see, let's be real. We're going to see 3 again? No. But should we see a 5 and a quarter? 5 is not a bad rate if you really look at it. If you get a 4, on a shorter term, you go maybe a 5-year just to pull the money out and do something, that would work. But if you got to go in for a commercial loan, it's a whole different animal. So you got to try the best way to do is get in on a residential, lock that up, and then you got your mortgages fixed. It's going to stay there. Sure, your taxes will go up a little. Your tax bill might change because eventually they'll figure out you turned it into a rental. But the bank typically I never seen a bank ever come back.
No, never.
They never come. As long as you're paying it, they don't care.
Yeah.
It's in their books, it's done.
Yeah, the difference between like residential and commercial is with commercial, you got to put down 25%, and you got to keep 25% loan to value.
Yeah, and you could tend to get a higher interest, and you're not going to get a 30-year.
Yeah,
fixed.
you're going to get a 10-year max.
Yeah, typically 10. Yeah.
Yeah, at a higher interest rate. That's how it is too with like car loans too. It's a higher interest rate, even though
Yeah.
I'm sure the default rate's less versus a standard consumer, but I don't know all those little things, and even the closing fees I think are more on a commercial.
Yeah, a little bit more. But we use First Security a lot, title company, and we get a great rate with them. Everything's based on the dollar amount. And then I got some friends that work for Chicago Title.
Yeah, that's who
I built our houses for. And he goes, yeah, I got a bigger apartment deal, and because the seller picks the title company. So if we're buying a building and the guy wants Chicago Title, then I'll call my friend at Chicago Title, say, hey, listen, can you help us out here? He goes, let me look at the deal. Yeah, I could do this. Okay, whatever. I take $1,000, whatever it is. It's money in my pocket.
Do you have your real estate license, or are you guys
No, my wife's a realtor.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. But I mean, I do some deals
nice.
with her. If she brings me anything.
Yeah.
But
I forgot you said that your wife's a realtor.
Yeah. So she's on year 10, and we use her. Like my brother will use her, put offers in on stuff.
Yeah.
Well, and these houses in Elmhurst, their group got together and they're like, we're trying to build a name here. So he's like, you know what, you want to build a name?
They got
her managing broker,
too.
her managing broker, and they said, yeah, use Tim Schiller. He's the guy here. You want to build a reputation here. You build, he'll build you up and he'll help you, especially when you put a nice product out.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, no, my wife, so when she started, I'm like, listen, you gotta build your own. You gotta do your own thing. And she's good at it. She does her own thing. And maybe we do a deal a year. Sometimes it depends. I mean, she's got some listings for everything in Itasca. We'll usually use her. But sometimes the reality is, like, if there's a listing and you want to get that and you're competing to get that teardown, if you go to the listing agent, they're more in with the buyer.
Sure.
So they'll make that deal happen, where if we come in outside and then it becomes, they're usually going to go with.
Well, some people don't want to sell the builders because they don't want them to
That's make things different.
Yeah, that's a tough one too. I don't want to sell to a builder. I don't want my house torn down.
It's inevitable.
Yeah, I mean, it's well, after you leave, why do you care?
Yeah, why does it matter? You got paid.
You got paid.
You got paid. Like,
I mean, and
the transaction,
and you got paid fair. It's not like, and nobody stole it from you. You got paid market value plus, and then a builder will probably pay a little more if it's the right works for them. Mm-hmm. So yeah, so my wife's So she's.
What do you guys talk about then at home besides real estate?
Oh no, we talk a little bit. No, she also she trains dogs too.
Oh really?
So it's pretty cool. So she'll train them, because we just picked up a dog 2 years ago. He's about 2 years old. So she went to this, started training it, and it's a little Aussie, mini Aussie.
Sure.
Great dog, dude. Australian Shepherds, beautiful dogs, smart as hell, great, lovable dogs. So she wanted to train it to be a service dog, because we travel and she wants the dog to come with us. So she found this guy that trains dogs, and he's got 90 franchises. So, and then afterwards, she called him one day. She called my wife, and she's like, Julie, you know what? You'd be real good at this. You should buy a franchise. And I think you'll be good at training, because you're not training the dog. I'm training you on how to train the dog. And it's simple. And then, and if you want to train it to a service dog, it has to perform a certain task. Now, when I say service dog, not the medical one that'll sniff out if your blood sugar is low, but the one that, hey, I need the dog to do this task for me, because that's all they can ask because of the American disability. Obviously, you know that. Mm-hmm. So, and the dog can go anywhere with us. So she started that, and it exploded. I mean, she's got client after client. The phone's ringing all the time. She travels. She's got the North Shore area, and so she bought herself a franchise. I'm like, yeah, go for it. She goes, I thought you were going to go. Why am I going to? If you want to expand, and I know that you love it, and you love this, and you're good at it. I see my dog. We're traveling. We'll go up to the checkpoint. Okay, we'll stop. She'll take the leash off the dog, put it through the thing. She'll stop. The dog will sit. She'll go through the metal detector. She'll turn. Delilah comes. She walks through the metal detector. Sometimes she has her vest. The guy the vest will trigger the thing, and the TSA guy's patting down the dog. And I'm like, it's funny. But yeah, no, that's how trained she is. We get on the plane. She lays on the floor. We go to a restaurant. She got her vest on. She lays. She doesn't. So she's really good at it. So she started that. So she's got the real estate. She's doing that. I'm like, cool. I want to retire. Keep working.
Nice. That's awesome.
That's nice. And it's, you know what? It's it's empowering for her, so it's good.
Yeah.
So our conversations tell me about her customers, and one lady's got this. They got a 90-pound, 10-month-old German Shepherd. And she goes, "This lady's like 5'3". This dog is strong as hell." So she's working on it's not an aggressive dog. It's just playful, and it's big. It doesn't realize how big it is. So she's working with that, and she's got a whole bunch of clients all over the place. So she's keeping busy on both ends,
awesome.
which is good.
I didn't know that. That's
and then
awesome.
and then what's nice about it is like when we travel, she goes, "Okay, I just block out these days. I'm not training during this time. When we go away, travel, and we come back, and then she picks right up."
Mm-hmm.
So, and the sessions vary. It could be 4 training sessions, 6, or full service, whatever you want. And and she's good at it, and she loves it, and she's good at she's got a good personality.
Mm-hmm.
She's very likable. So
super likable.
A lot of her.
Yeah.
So now once real estate business, once you start working, then your name gets out there, and then your clients keep calling, because eventually the first time home buyer, then they get married, then they have a kid, and then they need a bigger house, and it just keeps building, and they tell their friends, and it just keeps compounding, and it just keeps getting bigger, and and she enjoys it, and I'm happy for her. That's good. It makes everything, conversations at home, because how was your day? Oh, my day was good. What'd you do? I trained here. I went there. I was in Northbrook today. I was in Northfield. I went here. Cool. It makes things
interesting.
But now the kids are grown up.
Sure.
Because before it was like the kids, we decided as a couple, like, hey, you're going to stay home and raise the kids. And she goes to me, I was blessed. I never thought I'd be able to stay home and raise my kids. And then, then as they got a little older, she was, kindergarten aide, and she did like small jobs while they were, in school, which was good.
Her biggest job ever, man. That's the hardest job, I'd say.
Oh, no.
Being a mom.
Oh, my God.
My wife does it. His wife does it. I couldn't do it. I mean, we love our kids. Dude,
I do. No, it's a real
It's
job.
harder than going to work, I feel like, dude.
I agree. And it never gets easy, but I mean, as they get older, it's different challenges.
Right.
But no, when they're small, you saw a little dog.
Yeah.
I mean, that's work. It's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They get up in the middle of the night, you're up in the middle of the night, whatever. And so she's like, I was just blessed that I was able to do that. And I was like, and then we both decided that. And that was probably the best decision we ever made, because you get to raise your kids.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's a blessing when you can do it.
It is a blessing. And I am blessed. I can't complain about anything, to be dead honest.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So. I actually had a service dog. My mother-in-law, I don't know if you know her, Carla Malachi. My father-in-law is Pete Caruso. They own Pasta Mia in Bartlett.
Oh, I know the Pasta Mia, but I got to see him. I probably met him.
Carla used to work out at Dan back when he was at his other building.
Yeah.
Ralph Lake Street.
Oh,
over there,
yeah. I was there a lot back.
Yeah. You might have seen her. Name is Carla
I still go
Malachi.
by Dan. Yeah.
And
I guarantee you, if I see them, I'll know them.
Yeah. Well, she passed in 23. But when she got sick, just a little story. My wife, I'm always been a dog person.
Yeah.
We got this house and whatever, and I was like, I want to get my daughter, a dog, because she was born in 2020. Yeah. And she was like, no, my mother's sick, this and that. And so I was like, okay, well, this idea popped in my head, dude, let me get a service dog. So we got her a service dog, an English lab. It came from a breeder called Smoky Mountain Labs out in Tennessee, and they had all the trainings. They even had like a passport, all certified. Man, it was the best thing ever. I mean, sit here, tell it to go there, boom, pick this up, open this door, have a harness. I mean, it's. I mean, when she passed, we ended up giving it to a family friend, but just for, kind of moving on and whatnot, but brought it to the clinic and stuff like that. Yeah. But when you train those dogs, it's amazing what they can do. I mean, they're so smart, and I think it's funny when I see people, their dogs are pulling them. I'm like, oh, you just got to do this.
Yeah.
And then, they're all food driven, and just put in the time.
Yeah. And then there's a certain, she uses a certain collar that just tugs enough to tell the dog to, and then you control the dog. Yeah. And because basically, if the dog loves, the dog is there to please you.
Sure.
It wants to make you happy. So, like, truth be told, I took a shower before I came here, and I go downstairs and I look and I see the garbage all over the floor. And I look at the dog, and she comes up and sits by me, puts her ears down. So I'm like, all right, I just showered. I ain't cleaning this. I go, I'm going to wait for Julie to come home. I put her in her kennel, give her a treat. And then I left.
Give her a treat.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because I got her trained. I don't call it a kennel. I go, get in your condo. And she goes, runs in her condo.
I like that. Yeah.
So I tell her, get in her condo. And she runs and goes in there and sits. She's a good dog. It's just, it's a dog. You
Yeah,
leave the
true.
garbage.
Yeah, it is.
You leave the garbage.
I had
there,
the
there's
same
food.
thing with ours, a service dog. I mean,
Yeah, you leave the garbage out,
Yeah.
they're going to grab it. They're dogs at the end of the day.
Same thing that happens with my son, actually. He just fucking grabs anything he can and just rips it apart.
your son's an animal. It's not getting that.
Our
but-
youngest, yeah.
Oh, I got my son Marco. He's just when he was young. So our refrigerator now has it had an alarm that beep beep knows you to open, but I didn't have that set.
Right.
So she's got a video of him. He took out eggs and he's cracking them all over the floor, and then he's standing and slipping and falling. And he's like 3 years old, and he just doesn't even. And it's all funny to him, and he's just sitting there. My son was a tough little kid too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then and then he got into sports. He was into hockey and then in soccer. And the one thing because I was coaching soccer when he was small, and then I put him in where he went to his club. But I tell the parents, I go, you can't coach the kid being aggressive. You can coach how to train them, but if they're not aggressive, you can't coach that.
Right. Yeah.
And when you get a little one and stuff, find what he likes, and that'll focus his energy, keep him focused, and it keeps him out of trouble.
Oh, absolutely.
Keeps him. The sports kept him out of. I mean, not that he's a troublemaker, but it kept him out of trouble because he's always.
He was focusing on that, improving that. My two boys are complete opposite.
Complete opposite.
I've
dude.
got my oldest, Luca. He's softer.
Like
And we put him in sports, but it's not something that he's super pumped. So we've got him doing puzzles, math, all those and that's where he's obsessed with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And my youngest, Carlo, he's only 18 months, 19 months, but he's the complete opposite of Luca, where he's just tearing everything apart, and it's pretty interesting to see.
It's fun. Oh yeah, and you don't realize how much stuff they can find. We used to have to we reversed the lock on the bedroom door so that my son couldn't get out of his bedroom. Then we would put up the dog things, and he next thing you know, he'd climb over them, and I'm like, what the fungal is this kid doing, man? And then my daughter was the more petite, but now, and then my daughter always, I wasn't an athlete, but I go, you aren't. She runs marathons. So she just ran the Chicago Marathon, and then she's going to do the 7 marathons. So she did the Chicago. September, we're going to Berlin. Then she's going to do Halloween. She's going to do the New York, and that'll be 3. And then she's got London, Boston, Japan, and Sydney, and that'll be a complete
awesome.
7. And then you get another medal for doing that. That's her goal. By 30, I go, you're going to be 24. So
that's a heck of a.
And the marathon running.
Heck of a goal to achieve, man.
Yeah, she'll do it. She's
I
focused.
can't
on
run
it.
a mile without wanting to fucking cry.
Yeah. It's great. I watched. I mean, it's such a watching her run that marathon. The first one she did to Chicago, and it was like it's pretty cool. My wife did it too. I never thought about it. Why would I run a marathon? But
Yeah.
I barely do a 5K. But yeah, it's a whole different training thing, and she's focused on it, and she loves it. And I'm like, good. I go do it. This is your chance. You're not going to do it when you get older. Do it now.
Yeah.
You got an opportunity. The time, and then your body starts to get a little bit. It's hard on your body, but she's young, and and it's like a little gazelle, and she loves to run. I'm like, enjoy.
Love that.
Do it now while your body still can absorb it, because as you know, as it gets older, Jesus, you're gonna tell me I wake up, everything hurts.
Yeah. How can people get a hold of you if they're looking to
They can call our
services.
office. They can go on, our website, franklinprop.com.
Yeah.
And that'll give you, our office is in Addison, right at Lake and Mill.
Okay.
Same shopping center where the Caputo is. We're right next to Elio's Pizza.
Oh, I love that place.
Elio's.
Shout out to Elio's.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Delicious. We had lunch. I mean, he's a great guy, too.
Elio's
He is
great.
Just so nice.
Yeah.
I like him.
Well, thanks, Rudy, for coming on, man.
No,
I appreciate it.
I appreciate this, guys.
Yeah, thank you, bud.
Thank you.
I hope everyone listening and watching
Yeah.
got some gold nuggets. Like we said, we'll leave all of Rudy's contact information for his businesses, property management stuff. You guys can reach out to him. Make sure you give him a follow on Instagram, too.
Big Root, too.
Yeah. We'll leave that there, guys. But again, thanks for watching the show. If you guys got through the entire show, make sure you hit that like and subscribe. And we will see you every Friday at 12 o'clock.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.